boys are going to bring the heat today.
As the leader of the Booner pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, Lucas. It is Monday, February 17th. It is our first ever edition this season of Mock Draft Monday.
Come on now.
It is back. It has been revived. We've been pushing it off because, we're going to have a lot of time to do draft stuff. All right. We got until late April, a couple weeks. We got 2 weeks until the combine. We'll be down there. But it's time to get it going. All right. It's time to get this thing rolling, boys.
It is Boone. It is Boone.
It's also
I'm back. I was
I
hyping you up. I was like DJ Khaled over here. I was hitting you with some things, and I was muted the whole time.
Damn, I felt.
Hey, combine's next weekend though. I'm pumped up. This might be, honestly, I was thinking about it this morning. Like, this might be the latest that we have ever, since I've been in the business for with the Lions, that ever talking about doing mock drafts. Like, typically it'd be end of December, January. We're already sitting there talking about who are they going to get. It's the second week of February, and we're sitting here just starting mock drafts. It's kind of a good feeling, to be honest. I know we didn't win a Super Bowl, but feels good.
It's refreshing. It's just shorter off season. We don't have to wait a month before the combine. It always seems like there's a huge gap before the combine. Then after the combine, it's like that. Besides free agency, it seems like it's just a lull. And then after the draft, everything flies by. But between combine and the draft, it's so fucking long, it seems like. So for it to be quicker, take it every time. Good day, boys. Can't wait to have the rest of the week on the show. Get it newer.
Yeah, the combine's in a week. I can't get over that.
It is, yeah.
What were you going to say, Bill?
No, I'll just say, at some point we got to announce that Jeff's just out of the show for a couple days this week.
Yeah,
Thursday, Friday.
I'll be gone Thursday and Friday, so I won't be here for our debut of
all right
Friday. Full first round Fridays. All right, we're going full first round on Friday. I won't be there. It stinks, but next week I will be back. I will be away in Vegas. Having a good time. Maybe scouting out there, scouting the Raiders out a little bit. Maybe
the problem is I just don't think there's any practices or anything to scout out there at this time of year.
I'll be hanging with Max Crosby. That's what I'll be doing.
Get some info on the A's, maybe, or no?
I'll be feeling out the interest from Max Crosby. So
there's literally Vegas. I don't think there's anything going on in Vegas this week.
Are you serious? Are you being serious?
There's always shows in Vegas. Big events. You guys should, honestly, you need to look into those Sphere shows. I think Kenny Chesney or something has the Sphere.
Sphere?
Dude, yeah, you have to go there.
Those tickets are outrageous.
Dude, you got to do it. I feel like it's a must. If you're there, it would be a big miss if you didn't go check it out. Have a couple drinks in the Sphere.
Bro, see Kenny Chesney in the Sphere. Come on now.
I think it's Kenny Chesney. I have to go see it. The other day, by the way, we're at breakfast, and it was just one of the biggest Luke Combs songs of all time. And I look at Jeff and his girlfriend and go, Kenny Chesney? It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, but it was funny though.
It'll be good. You boys will hold it down. Then I'll be back. I'll be back Saturday night, so I'll be back for Monday, the next mock draft Monday. But yeah, Caleb, Mike will be joining Friday. It'll be a fun show. But yes, I am rocking. All right, hold up. Can you see it? Wait.
Oh, you got some merch.
There you go.
I got the Larkin Detroit Red Wings kind of hoodie jersey. I don't know what to call this. I know jerseys. What's a hoodie with a bat? I don't know.
I have one very similar to that. Yeah, I don't know. It's
a hoodie.
Yeah, that Tyler called it. Shout out to Tyler. He said he's rocking that Larkin. Yeah, I am. And that game was electric. Absolutely electric.
So good.
There is nothing better than a game starting with 3 fights right off the rip. So, booing. Come on, just you have the Canadian fans booing the national anthem, and then you have
the disrespect, man.
And then it's just all out belt to ass to start the game. It was amazing.
And Dylan Larkin, basically the game-winning goal.
Yes,
to take the lead.
And we get
really play. Yeah, Thursday, the championship game.
Yeah.
The problem is, I was thinking about it's the championship game. Like if you don't win this game, like that last game does not
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Like it's like a must win on Thursday night. That's going to be right during our show too. So we might have to do like, I don't know,
I
watch
never-
party or something.
I never felt more patriotic, at least recently, than when you hear the boos during the national anthem. They show the Kachuk brothers, just like you can see the
Fires you up, dude.
right away. Canadians, all they want to do is be American. That's all they've ever wanted to be. If they didn't, they would have stuck to French. Quarter of their country speaks French. 75, the rest is English. And all you see is best Canadian basketball players. Where do they go? America. Football players. Where do they go? America. Where does Drake reside? The best music artist out of there. America. So for them to boo,
Andy.
great sign of jealousy. And only matter of time till we only
Hey.
get a championship because they beat Finland. Somebody dropped in the so they'll be. I think it's Thursday.
It's Thursday, 8:00. Yeah, it's
Running
locked
back in the States, in Boston of all places, Boston or Philadelphia. That's where they needed to be dropped.
Dude, Boston is hey,
Welcome to the U.S. of A.
there was a tweet that said if the United States beats that, and again, hey, I'm not a political guy. I stay away from the pot, but they said, hey, if the United States wins Thursday night, Canada becomes a state instantly. And I was like, that's kind of funny, man.
It's their best sport. It would be like
Love
Canada coming over to the U.S. and like beating them in football. Like that's
Yeah.
maple syrup and hockey.
And we got some and we have some dogs. Don't
healthcare.
we have some dudes, man. Don't downplay us a little bit here. We have some guys on this squad. Dylan Larkin.
No, I'm saying, but like Canada, like they take pride in like we're a hockey country. Hockey,
For sure, they definitely
like
do.
when
yeah.
you think of U.S., you just think
100%.
of baseball, but now you think of football. So it's like imagine Canada coming over. They got a couple players. I think Kyle Hamilton's from Canada. They got a couple Canadians in the NFL.
Hamilton.
Yeah, it's like the hockey prestige. It's like that's what they have. That's the.
I mean, they live and die by their hockey teams. Like that's just what it is. Like it means everything in Canada. And if they lose Thursday night, we now own that sport at the end of the day. Like, that's what it is. We take the sport over.
Oh my god.
And it's a fact, like you can't boo the national anthem, whether it was French Canadians or not, whatever it is. You can't boo it and then lose. And then if you do it again Thursday and then lose, it's a tough look, man.
And we got Tyler in the chat. He's a Canadian. Tyler, hey, he knows what it is. He knows what it is. I mean, hey,
they do have a lot of NBA players out of Canada now. They're like they have some not obviously the best in the world, but Canada's Olympic team is pretty good. I'll give them that.
Yeah, there's I mean, yeah, that was electric. I had a blast watching it.
I can't wait till Thursday night.
I can't. Yeah, I'll let's say I won't be here with you guys, but
you'll be in Vegas. That'll be much better. Go get a ticket. Throw USA money line.
They'll have the game on. I'll try to break it down to Lex a little bit, tell her what's going on. She's got to catch up too, but it'll be a lot of fun. I did see this clip too. This is ridiculous, by the way. Aidan Hutchinson running full sprints. I mean, this is what
American as it fucking gets
right
here.
Great.
Blue collar.
Look at this man. I mean, it's like combine all over again. I mean, look at this guy. There's no way he would have played in the Super Bowl. Can we
time that? Can we time it? See how fast is that 40?
There's no way this dude would have played the Super Bowl, right? Like,
no, yeah, I was thinking that today. Like they were. I think he was hyping it up a little bit. I love Hutch, man. But I do think it was getting a little overhyped, like him coming out being like, yeah, I'm going to play. Don't worry, I'm going to play. And Dan just coming in saying, if anyone can do it, it's Aidan Hutchinson. But it's like, it's February 17th. The Super Bowl was 2 weeks ago. He's just getting back to running at that level. Like I would have been mad, honestly, if he was at that level right now and tried to play in the Super Bowl. Like, dude, wait till next year. Like we can go win this thing next year. Everything. Yeah, that would have been a disaster, honestly. Like that would have been the biggest disaster in Lions history. He goes out there and re-injures his leg.
Well, that's actually not funny because that would
bring back the corpse of Ziggy Ansah.
Yeah, that would have to do. That would have been.
And by the way, dude, I hate this from some people in like the Lions world, like all these like older fans commenting and just saying like he looks terrible. Oh, look how he can't even like, dude. This is like probably his first week back running. He has to. I think I saw a video like he had to like relearn how to walk because of the break in his leg. Like, give the guy, let him get some time. Like when we get to training camp, if he's out there running with like a limp, then it's like okay, yeah, we can have that conversation. But those comments, dude, I get so mad reading some of them.
Well, hey, speaking of comments, John Morton and Kelvin Shepard had some comments talking to Dan Miller, legend. And you're gonna like. I listened to both. I listened to Dan Dan Miller talk to John Morton, and then I listened to him talk to Kelvin. And it's the first time anyone's ever heard from him directly. And I thought Dan did a really good job. I thought Kelvin killed it. If you listen to his interview, I think it's on Fox too. It's on their website. I'm pretty sure. Go to the sports section. You could check it out yourself. But listening to Kelvin, he talked about how much he owes AG. Obviously, AG letting him coach other position group. How much he owes Dan Campbell for belief in him, and of course, like his perspective. And he said something that I loved, which was obvious. Like I'm not saying I'm surprised he said it, but just to hear him say it, he put emphasis on how much the defensive line means. Hammered it. He's like, it all starts up front. That's where it starts. And I'm not blind to that. That's what he said.
That was Kelvin that said that?
Yes. And Dan Miller was like, whoa, you watched the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl got to you. And he's like, yes. Oh, or not got to him. He already knew it. But watching the Eagles and the Chiefs, he's like, it reminded everyone that the league is going back a little bit to old school football where it's trenches win, offensive line, defensive line.
Yeah.
And again, this is something I'm not saying Kelvin just learned, but to hear him say it, it gets me fired up. It gets me fired. And then he also said how if whatever Brad decides to do in the draft, they have to be a Lions. Not everyone could play for the Lions. And they have to, he went into that. So he wasn't saying bring me an edge or anything like that. But hey, Kelvin, can I interest you in a 6'5", 280, 265 Hall of Famer, potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate, potential Defensive Player of the Year favorite going into next season? His name is Myles Garrett. So I think Calvin would be on board with that. But hearing him speak to Dan Miller, man, it's awesome. He's I gotta wait. We gotta see it on the field.
Yeah,
he killed
listen,
it. He killed it.
I'm pumped up for Kelvin. It's just one of those we could say everything we want about him, and he is such a great person too. Off the field. On the field, though, it's we have to see it. Because, dude, you see it the last 2 or 3 years. AG is such a good coach, leader of men. He's obviously got a head coaching job. But, again, with the injuries or the weapons that he had and this and that, it's nothing ever really came together. And that was for Kelvin, he's about to have so many different the weapons. Everyone's going to be healthy again. They're going to draft again. Everything's about to be in a perfect spot for Kelvin Shepard. It's just, to me, it's is he going to be able to put it all together and go out there and put the product on the field to win a Super Bowl? Because I said it at the beginning of this last year, boys. I remember you guys probably Booner, you're saying it too much, but it's the Super Bowl runs through the defense. I kept saying that all year. I went away from it a little bit, but you remember week 1? I think it was week 1.
You got caught up a little bit.
I think it was week 1. My main statement with the whole Booner path thing and all of that to go win a Super Bowl, the end of the whole statement was the Super Bowl runs through this defense. And you got too excited. I got pumped up, dude. I was like, nothing's stopping them. But then it's look at the Eagles. The Super Bowl runs through the defense. If you want to beat one of those teams, it has to be through the defense. And it's Kelvin's going to have the opportunity to have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think, honestly, boys, I think he can do it. I think he will do it. I think he's going to be a head coach in a few years because he's going to win a Super Bowl here as a DC. So it's just about and the draft stuff too. I hope Brad realizes, hey, you have a rookie defensive coordinator and you need defensive linemen. And I hope he puts some things to the side a little bit and goes, let's just go get a bunch of defensive linemen for him. Free agency, draft, all of that. Number one priority for your rookie DC. Don't put him in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boys, I've been saying it for a while now. Kelvin Shepard is a fucking dog. If you don't think he's going to have this defense ready to go, disciplined, being able to tackle fundamentally, being able to read keys, he's going to have this defense in check. And now that he is a first-year defensive coordinator, this defensive line is weak. It's going to give him an opportunity to kind of figure some things out and take some chances. And with that, there's going to be some losses. But I think Kelvin Shepard, especially to start the season off, he's going to get a quick learning experience. But that's an advantage of having a former player because he's drafted the Bills, played there for 3 years. Guess who he's going up against? Tom Brady. Gets traded to the Colts, there for a year, goes back to the Dolphins. Guess who he's playing against? Tom Brady. So this guy knows how the intricate part of football works. You're going up against Tom Brady. You're going up against Bill Belichick twice a year. Now, was he out there sacking Tom Brady, picking off Tom Brady? No. But just in being in the presence of, hey, we got a game plan for Tom Brady this week. that puts you in a mode where it's like, okay, I have to take the X's and O's of this game very serious, because that's what the New England Patriots are doing, and they're constantly winning this division. He's a linebacker. He's got to read keys at the beginning. So when you have Jack Campbell, and you have Alex Anzalone, when you have Kirby Joseph, the center of this defense behind the linebackers is very solid. If they can add to this defensive line like we all expect them to, I do not see a way that this defense falls flat on its face, especially the fact that Kelvin Shepherd is coming directly from Aaron Glenn. It's not like, okay, yes, there are probably some things that are changed, but the way that this defense flows, the identity of this defense, I don't see it going anywhere. The aggressiveness of this defense, could it be a little more aggressive? Yes. Could it be a little less aggressive? Maybe, but it's going to stay pretty much the same way that Dan Campbell has been not coaching this defense, but having this Lions defense play the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always liked Shep. I mean, you've been calling him to be
a couple years ago. Clyde said something about him.
I haven't been that high on Shep. I've loved him as a coach, and I always thought he'd be a DC one day. I didn't think it'd be this year, but now that it's actually happened, and we're kind of over the whole like rookie defensive court, we're past that now. I love him, the defensive mind, and I think players are going to play their ass off for him. So I think that's what. Yeah, I mean, they love him. I mean, he talked about that too. How Taron Arnold called him, and they were chopping it up. Casey Rogers said, I want to go there because of Kelvin Shepherd. I want to go join the Lions. Like, I want to go, work under him. He's called plays before, Casey Rogers. So you get some experience around Kelvin too. And Jim O'Neill, one of the defensive assistants, he's been all around the league, called plays before. Like, they put a pretty experienced staff around him. Like, they prepared for his inexperience. Like, so they pick up that slack a little bit.
There has to be things too, Jeff, with inexperience, like scheme wise and stuff. That it's like it's going to take time for him to figure out. Like, he's never called plays before. Like, he's never gone through.
And that's why they got him all that the vets with him. Yeah. Those guys that have called plays, guys that have been in the league. He's got good guys around him. Now, Johnny Morton, on the other hand, he I want to get your thoughts on this, Klotzy, too, because you're a Johnny Morton skeptic. Okay, yes. And I think
the Johnny Mo show, we don't say that. No skepticism.
There is people out there that may share that sentiment with you, but he talked about being able to call plays once again after calling plays with the New York Jets. And this is what he said. He said, I think it's, by the way, shout out to Doc. This is on Detroit Lions on Sports Illustrated. This is from the Dan Miller interview, but he said, quote, I think it's an unbelievable opportunity just to get another chance. Calling plays for the first time at the Jets, that was an experience. I've learned from that. But just being here at home, I grew up here, family still here. I understand what it takes. I've seen the ups, a lot of the downs. Barry Sanders, I grew up a Barry Sanders fan, but it's really exciting for this opportunity. You don't get many of them, and I'm ready. And he said, Dan Miller asked him straight up, are you calling plays? And he said, I am, yes. So he did say in the situation in New York, it was tough.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. He's talked about how tough that situation was. He said, I was hired in and had to keep the coaches. I didn't know anyone there. Here, I know people. They know me. I know them. We just finalized our staff. I was in those interviews, and I can't tell you how excited I am for the coaches that we have here now. It's big. So,
can I ask a question to Klotz about this?
Go ahead, Boone.
And this is like a serious, like,
okay.
No matter who the Detroit Lions hired as their OC, you were going to have skepticism, correct? Like, you're going to be a little like, okay, that's all. Because I started to think a little bit about it, and I was just like, I don't think John Morton is that bad of like the fact that, like, if you're looking at it, him and Tanner, if you want a guy that's been in the system and helped create the system, it's probably in between him and Tanner. So for me, it's just like, I get like being skeptical of the whole thing because it's a new OC and Ben was the best in the league at what he did. So I was like, I think I hit a realization the other day, and I was like, I think Klotzy is just like any coach could have been in there, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to question it until I see it because the offense was so good.
The only like candidate that I wouldn't have is, and it's not even like him specifically, would have had to been a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, who's like, obviously he's not leaving Washington, but like a guy who's been a coordinator in the league before, maybe went to be a head coach. Like, those would be guys like, and even then I'd have some skepticism because I think it's not even like a John Morton thing, but honestly, if you want me to be completely honest, it's a Jared Goff thing. Whereas how is Jared Goff going to respond to this coordinator? Because John Morton could be a good play caller, but if it's like I think for the Lions to reach the Super Bowl, Jared Goff has to play at a level similar to he has the last couple of seasons. And my thing is there a coordinator that can get the best out of Jared Goff like we've seen Ben Johnson for the last 2 years? Because even I think we could say, and we'll just say it to be safe, Jared Goff, top 7 quarterback, top 5 quarterback last year, and we put him into that 7 to 10 range. And I think the Lions, just given how you watch the league this year, I think it'd be really hard for the Lions to make a Super Bowl if he goes from a top 7 quarterback to like a top 10 to 12 quarterback, which is still a good quarterback in the NFL. That's where, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's where my concern goes, especially starting off the season.
I think it's fair. I think with John Morton, like the one positive out of this whole thing, and I like the fact that he's calling plays. I'm just under the belief, and I don't think it was fully like this with Ben. I am under the belief though that it's going to be like, it's like a all hands on deck type of thing. And I think more than we know last year and the year before with Ben, like I think there was a sense of like, it was all hands on deck. Like I think Hank Fraley had to say, Scotty Montgomery had to say, Dan Campbell always had to say, like, I think all of those guys, Tanner Engstrand, like I obviously Ben's the one, like this boom, boom, boom. And obviously his offensive mind is the one that overtakes everything. But I think with John Morton, like he was in that building with Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, and Dan Campbell when they built this new offense. Like he was there. So it's like he was a part of that rebuild that second year or whatever it was, 2022, to like build the offense to what it was this last year and the year before. So he knows it. And he like, obviously you're losing a great mind, but I just think all these offensive minds and these positional coaches and Dan Campbell, like I feel like that's like a positive to look at it and be like, okay, like you're not going to get too far off of what they were this last year. I think that's the worry, Klotz. Like you see a different Jared Goff. I don't think you do see a different Jared Goff just based off of the familiarity of like everything around him now.
Yeah,
and that is like that. My bad, Jeff. I was saying that is what my concern basically is.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. I've had similar concerns. I think what helped me is listening to John today talk about how he's going to at some point this offseason meet up with Goff, or maybe it'll be closer to when they actually, they can actually meet in person, like at Allen Park. And he's going to install things that Goff likes, that Goff remembers from this offense this year. So I'm sure Goff's going to throw a lot of similar things at him that Ben had. And he's like, I like this. I like this. I don't really like this. And I'm sure John's just going to build it around that. Now, actually calling plays is different. That's a whole nother thing. But I think schematically, it's going to be good for
pretty
Goff.
similar.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good.
I'm still nervous. I mean, I'm sure every Lions fan is like it's like going into a year again. You're probably a top 5 Super Bowl. Like you should have won a Super Bowl. You're going into a Super Bowl favored year again. And you just don't know what your coordinators are like. Like
it's in a put up or shut up year,
it's like a very scary situation. It's like having to trust in someone that I don't know, man.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. Love it.
I love being in this situation. I mean, I would never want to go back to where we were a couple years ago.
It is nice having these problems. Like, oh, will we win 15 games again? It's kind of nice. Very opposite.
Schedule's tough, man. We're gonna go through that schedule. Oh my gosh, I tweeted that out a couple days ago, and it was. But they play every single NFC playoff team. They play every single one next year. That's crazy.
I'm not denying that it's hard. I don't want to. I'm not trying to do that, but because I'm just adding in. My big concern is outside. A lot of outdoor games. A lot of those type of bad environments, which are always tricky. But last year, remember we had that similar discussion last year? It's like this schedule, man, it looks pretty tough. It's pretty tough. And then they won 15 games with half a roster. It's like, so I've learned like, it's tough, but let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Hey,
man.
Another reason, Klotzy, to play the Eagles game week 1. You don't want to play them in the second half outdoors. What if it's snowing? What if it's snowing in December and you have to go play them?
Yeah, class.
If it's snowing in December, then you run the football. And I'm perfectly confident the Lions running the football.
Oh, my God.
Jeff.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
There's no way.
At the end of the day, I'm not confident going into Philly regardless. Like, we can't act like Philly going into Philly's like,
but you can run the ball in September.
Lions automatically win. Then let's look at week 1. The Lions have 2 new coordinators. Eagles do fine. Well, they only have 1. But when you got the Lions coming in there, week 1, Super Bowl championship, rookie defensive coordinator.
Spoiler of the week.
I guess you could say rookie offensive coordinator. And then these are going to matter because, again, look at the schedule that the Lions have on the road regardless of who they play week 1. They're playing 5 or 6 legitimate playoff teams on the road.
Look what you did.
Please, week 1.
I got them going.
Let's get the season off. Let's figure out what these coordinators are all about. Week 4, give me Philly. You're going to have to go into Philly.
All right. Hey, what does Flannel say? Goose Fraba or whatever.
Yeah, you know what, Klotzy? I'll do you a favor here. You know what you forget to bring up? It's a good argument against me and Boone. I'll give you a layup. I'll give you a little alley oop.
No, Jeff.
Aleem might not even be ready for the season. That's the only thing I'm like, damn. But that's it.
I think Aleem will be good.
If he is, then that argument is shattered. Now you have nothing.
Even like
Broderick, I'm just kidding.
Still, give me somebody else besides the Eagles. There's
nothing.
That's on me. Hey,
teams I'd rather
all right,
play
Klotz.
the Eagles.
Klotz, that's on me. I'm done. Let's not revisit that for a little.
Let's get revenge on the Commanders week 1. Can't do that.
That'd be a good one too.
All right, good. Hey, why didn't you say that the other week?
Because you asked directly the Eagles, and
well,
I said no. Please don't. I said the Ravens. You weren't happy with that.
Hey, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jeff. I'm sorry, Klotz, that we want to be great and you want to just be kind of mediocre. That's okay with me. Like,
exactly
listen,
what I'm saying.
I strive to be the best me and the best Lions team.
First game back for Hutch. First game back for a lot of these
Make
players.
a statement. Jeff, time out. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Hey, no. 30-second timeout. Jeff, do you remember last year when I did the whole Defensive Player of the Year thing with Hutch? What did I say? National television, week 1. You start the narrative. Aidan Hutchinson goes out there week 1, gets 2 sacks, and instantly he's the Defensive Player of the Year favorite. Game over. That's what's going to happen this year.
Who was blocking Aidan Hutchinson week 1 last year?
Whoever Lane Johnson, I don't care who it is. I don't care.
Hey,
whoever it is.
I prefer not Saquon week 1. We're going to have to play him eventually.
Dude, the Chicago stuff, people wanted Chicago. Caleb Williams.
Do you guys remember? This is the game that sticks in my mind and why I'm like, fuck no. Do you guys remember? It was probably 5 or 6 years ago. It was when Stafford was on the Lions. It was either week 2 or 3. Stafford's going down the field, hits Golden Tate on like a 3-yard slant route. Golden Tate is marked like an inch off of the goal line. The rules then was a 10-yard runoff. If the Lions would have won that game, they would have been in the playoffs. So when I see things like that, I'm like, oh, okay, really good team. I don't want anything to do with them early on in the season. Let's get film on them. Let's figure out who we are. Then let's go and get them, and I have a better.
There's a lot of Lions fans in the chat too that are scared to play the Eagles week.
You're just you know what? I'll change it. Not scared. You're scarred. You're scarred from.
Or it's just like, hey, what's the most effective way to get to the number 1 seed in the NFC North this year? Division's going to be better. The conference is going to be better. I'm not saying get the 1 seed, but NFC record matters when it talks about the NFC North and just playoff standings in general. I want to be able to win the NFC North without a doubt.
Jeff,
all these teams are going to play the Eagles in the NFC North. I'd rather not do it week 1.
Jeff,
teleprompter.
Yeah. Jeff, all right, Klotz, pause the teleprompter for a second. We need to I want to talk for a second.
He's spitting.
I mean, the teleprompter's the teleprompter can't keep up with him. He's reading past it. Hey, last year, this is just giving me deja vu to last year when everyone said they didn't want to play the 49ers. They didn't want to play the Rams. Give me the Bears. Give me the fight. They went out and beat the Rams week 1. Who cares? Go get the job done. It's like you're going to have to win week 1 and you're going to have to win week 17, Klotz. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. You go get the job done. Whenever it happens, you get the job done. That's it. Hey, give me the Eagles. I want ring night. That's what I want.
Yeah. I want that.
I've seen it once against the GOAT. I don't need it against.
And we did it. We did it.
We also had like 5 rookies starting that no one's ever seen before. Jahmyr Gibbs,
and they did it. So what do you
that ain't happening this year. Can promise you that much.
So you think the Lions are
hold on.
If we get Myles Garrett, different story.
You know what? That's a good transition. Speaking of rookies starting that they won't know about, what about the first round picks in our draft, huh? You don't know who we drafted. You don't know who we drafted. The Eagles don't know who we drafted. Well, they will, but they won't know. They won't know anything about these guys. Well, they will, but and you don't get what I'm saying. Like NFL wise,
what was that, man?
They will. But you get my point. All right, you draft a dog at 28, and then he goes out week 1 and causes some problems. We each did our mock drafts. No trades this week. Okay. No trades.
I was ready to trade too. Brad. It's hard. I hate when people say don't trade in the mocks because Brad Holmes trades in every mock.
Well, we're gonna. It's like you don't want to. Yeah, we're building it up. Like next week we'll do trades,
which is fair. Yeah. I mean, we should maybe next week we shouldn't even do a trade. We should do like certain trade weeks, like green light trade this week. Like red light, green light on Squid Games.
I'm curious how you piece this together. You keep going.
Well, it's like for trade weeks, it's green light. You can trade. Red light, like this week, it's a red light. No trades.
So if we move, we get
That did not make much sense.
We get shot. Yeah.
Yeah. If you trade, you get shot. You better not trade.
But yeah, no trades. I will. You know what? Maybe I should go last because I did my.
Can I request to go last? You should just go first. You should just rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay, I'll go first.
Hey, Klotz, Jeff already released his this morning. Everyone knows already.
Yeah, have you heard? The people are talking. Have you heard about it?
No, I was pumped up for mock draft.
Mock draft did I release?
I was pumped up. I was pumped up for mock draft Monday tonight, and then I opened up my computer for work this morning, and it's Jeff Iafrate, and it was like a spoiler. I opened it up, and I go,
you haven't
saw
heard
his
about
mock
Jeff
draft.
Iafrate's,
I didn't mean to see it.
You haven't heard about Jeff Iafrate's NFL mock draft 1.0? Wow. Well, we're gonna get into it.
All right, Jeff Kiper. You got the Kiper hair going a little bit.
You do.
I'm sure young Kipe had a similar do.
Okay, now I'm triggered. That Mel Kiper is don't you talk trash about Mel Kiper, all right?
No, you see, the product in my hair is...
Hold on.
By the way, I want to make a request, Jeff. When I was watching your mock draft earlier, when you play the sound, wait till after the sound's done to start talking, because you said the name a couple times during the sound, had no clue who you were talking about. I was like, could not hear him. Pro tip. Gotcha.
Great on-air combo.
Yeah.
I
love him.
It went over my head, and I just remembered it. All right, Jeff Kiper, let's hear it.
All right, so 2025 NFL mock draft 1.0. No trades. I got to hear it one more time. That's got to be the best noise in sports. You know what, ETN? Shut your ass up. All right, let's go.
Wait. As you get better, don't care about the that sound anymore. It was cool when we had like the top 10 pick. Now it's his business.
You don't like. Hold on.
I love it. I love it.
It's like the intro for like a Sunday night or Monday night football.
It's the best. It's like it gets you pumped up. But I don't look forward to the draft as much as I used to.
Yeah, you're tweaking, Boone.
I'm just.
I was about to. All right, let's get to it. My first ever NFL mock draft, no trades. All right, let's break this thing down. All right, it's looking pretty good, boys. All right, hold on. Yeah, get off the screen. All right, this is what we got. No trades at pick 28. This is one take. All right, one take. Bata. This is who I had. All right, 28. Nick Scorton sitting there, staring right at me. I'm thinking, all right, Nick Scorton. I like him. I've heard Mel Kiper talk about him. I've heard Field Yates talk about him. I've heard Daniel Jeremiah talk about him. I've heard a lot of guys that are very, very locked into the draft talk about Nick Scorton, and all of them have very positive things to say. Many refer to him as the steal, potentially, of the late first round. And he played at Texas A&M along with Shamar Stewart. Walter Nolan was there, but then he transferred to Ole Miss. But they have some defensive linemen. The production wasn't there this year, though, for any of those guys for some reason. Nick Scorton was on the more productive side of it. He had 5 sacks this year. But let me tell you about him. 20 years old, young, okay? A lot of upside, but still ready to play right away. Led the Big Ten when he was at Purdue before he transferred to Texas A&M in sacks. 8th in the nation. He had 10 sacks for Purdue his last year there. First team All-SEC this year, 6'4", 285. I like it. You get a guy at 28 that can come in right away and play for you and produce for you. So pay attention to the name Nick Scorton, because he'll probably rise up after the combine. He doesn't, he's not the quickest guy off the edge, but he's productive. He gets the job done. He's nasty in the run game. Go watch his tapes. Tackle for losses is all over the place. At 60 now, let me explain this. All right. Because Derek Harmon is someone that I think will be gone by the second round. I think he's gone. I think the Chiefs I think he'll be gone. But in this mock, he was there. Do we really know anything about the draft? Probably not. Not even Mel Kiper about where guys are going to go, except really like the top 10. Even that sometimes is misconstrued, like Dallas Turner last year falling out of the top 10. But I do think Derek Harmon is at the very worst a top 40 pick. He was there at 60. I can't pass on this guy. I can't. He's massive, 6'5", 310. He led college football in pressures on true pass sets for defensive tackles. He gets after it in the pass game, obviously the size for the run game. And guess what? You know how fast he ran last year? You know how fast? 21 miles per hour at 6'5", 310. They clocked him at that speed. He should get a speeding ticket. All right? This guy's flying down the sideline. At his size, at his weight, love it. I think, obviously, Casey Rogers is going to love it. And for him, he was at MSU before this. So he's from Detroit, went to Loyola High School. So I like Derek Harmon a lot. I think he's a perfect DJ Reader replacement, and he's better than Broderick Martin right away. All right, next pick. Pat Bryant, wide receiver, pick 132. You know what? We've all been in agreement here, boys. I think a wide receiver would be very beneficial, at least to replace Tim Patrick. And Pat Bryant, in my opinion, does exactly that. He's big body, 6'3", 200 pounds, contested catch guy, which that's what you want alongside Amon-Ra and Jamison Williams. 69.2% contested catch rate, one drop, uno. 82.9 grade against man coverage. He gets open, played at Illinois, and made a ton of plays. So I like Pat Bryant. He just kind of checks off everything I'm looking for in a wide receiver. Go watch his tape. You'll be amazed with what you see.
He is a dog. Can confirm.
Yeah, love that. Love his
Very
tape as well. So he's the guy at 132 for me, best player available. Now we get to 194, and that is the big fella, Jake Mages. All right, center, starting center at Texas, 6'3", 315, 39 straight starts, boys. Remind you of anyone? Iron Man. Plays for the Lions. Plays for the Lions. Plays with one toe missing. Yeah, it gives me a little bit of that Frank Ragnow Iron Man aura. All right, out of Jake Majors. Like him, he's productive. Obviously, he can do it both. He can do them both ways. Pass pro, mauler in the run game. I mean, 0 sacks allowed in 2024. However you like it, the guy can do it, and he's available all the time, which is huge. And he's a high character guy. So he's the starting center, which is at least intellectually one of the hardest positions to play on the offensive line. And that offensive line, Joe Moore Award nominee. So very good. They have Calvin Banks, who will be a first-round pick. So they got dudes on that offensive line. All right, get to the next one. Jalen Walker, 226. Now we're getting into real quick. We don't have the third-round pick. The Lions are it's the competitive.
I don't think they've announced it yet.
Yeah, it's not. People keep saying it. Like, people are like, well, you got to have a third-round pick. It's not on PFF. It's not official, so I can't really include it. So just so you know, we're aware there's a compensatory pick. We don't have it here. So moving on. Jalen Walker, 226, linebacker out of Indiana. Hey, Klotzy, this is a Klotzy guy. Jalen Walker, all right? He is a beast. This is what this man could do at 6'1", 218. 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. Played at JMU, transferred to Indiana, put his hand in the dirt. He's not the greatest in man coverage, in just coverage in general. He can work on it. All right. That's something we can develop here. 2 interceptions, had 1 against your school, Ohio State.
Uh-oh.
And he's, again, someone that can get off the edge. You know what he reminds me of a little bit? At least with his hand in the dirt, what he can do, what Derek Barnes is doing. He still plays some of that Sam role. So I like Jalen Walker, but more than that, solid special teamer, and that's really what you're looking for at 226. And that's when I get to Johnny Walker, because
I love this name, by the way. What a fucking
Johnny Walker. I feel like I've heard of a Johnny Walker before too.
He's a UFC
I feel
fighter.
like everybody has. I thought the same thing. But...
So actually, if I'm being real, it's Johnny Walker Jr. All right, but I can't fit the junior.
I knew he had a pop. I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew there was a junior. That sounds like a junior name for sure.
So Johnny Walker, talking about productive edge in the SEC.
JJ.
Yeah, that's what he does. 9.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles this year for Missouri. I listen, that's what you can ask for. I mean, you're talking 229. I'm getting a guy who had 9.5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Give me that. Special teamer. We'll take it. All right. 245, we get the Buckeye. Jordan Hancock, starting safety on a national championship winning team. Listen, he's not Caleb Downs at all. But you know what he is? He's a starter on a very good defense, and he is better than Brandon Joseph. So I will take Jordan Hancock, special teamer, provide you some depth at safety, and Jordan Hancock.
Waka Hancock.
Klotzy can probably break him down more at depth, but that's my mock draft. All right, that's
That was good, Jeff.
You know what?
Love that.
You know what? I feel really good about this one. This is a good debut, boys. If we're talking, if we're talking right off the rip, first ever mock draft Monday, I like it.
Honestly, I was thinking it today. Like when I was doing mine, it's just the first one's always tough because like these later round guys, you really have to go look and find. Like it took me. I texted you guys like this morning. I did ran through a couple to get a feel for who was there, and then about 12 or 1 o'clock, I locked in and said, "All right, I need to get this done." It took me like an hour and a half to get mine together. So for your first one, Jeff, I think it's good because you got to go find some of these hidden gems.
You need everything to fall the right way.
Yeah, and again, once you decide like, hey, I'm locking in this one, I'm doing like to me, I did the ones in the morning, and at 12, I said I'm doing one here, and this is it. I sat there. And there's like all these players on the board. I'm like looking up and researching all these different players, trying to figure it out. So you have to find some. I got to go watch some more Jalen Walker. I remember when they had game day there, they were talking about him a ton, like coming over from JMU with the head coach. They loved him. So I wouldn't hate that as well. I liked the offensive linemen. What did you take? Three defensive linemen. I love that. Honestly, you want me to be honest with you, Jeff?
Be honest with me.
Actually can't even do it. I mean, for me, it's like the linebacker is the only one. Like I would have maybe gone a corner at some point. Like you're going to see mine, like that secondary. I would have addressed that because I almost went a linebacker in mine. I just think like the Lions, if they sign Derek Barnes, they can go get like a Robert Spillane, like Klotz wants, and like they are in a good spot. That linebacking room is like set to where you don't even need to draft a linebacker, and you can go get another corner to compete in there. You can get another safety, some more dude. Because to me, hey. I look at it like this, boys. That secondary, you just need to get depth. You need to get some of these guys out of there. Kendall Vildor, and I love Maurice Norris. You know, that's my guy. Maurice Norris, love him. There's just like these back end guys where it's like you just have to keep finding ways to upgrade those guys because they're obviously not panning out as we thought they would. So,
yeah, I don't hate the corner suggestion. I'm not really going to push back on that. Shift God did ask Kenneth Grant Jr. He was gone, so he already was taken. He was gone in the 20s right before I selected. So
what's tough about this is it's 3 7th-round picks. Like that's like you're a like to
you got to ship them.
Yes. I was sitting there today. I probably did some research on about 40 different guys in the 7th round, just trying to figure out like you're not getting day one starters on those last 3 picks. You're just getting maybe some guys you're going to work with and hopefully
you're looking. Yeah. You're swinging. I mean, that's what you're hoping you find like a Malcolm Rodriguez or something. I mean, that's really what it is. All right. Boone, you're going last, right? So let's get Klotzy. All right, Klotzy. Hold on.
The Magna Carta. The Magna Carta of all mock drafts.
The Balnor? All right. Let's hear
from
Let's hear from you, Klotzy.
Look, Klotz.
All right, let's go. What do we got here?
Here we go, boys. All right. With the 28th pick, the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions and Lukas Klotz select Kyle Kennard, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, the Bronco Nagurski Trophy winner. And you might ask what that is. It's the best defensive player in college football. And if you go down this list, boys, when it comes to Power 5 defensive ends, the names in the last couple of years, Will Anderson, Chase Young, Josh Allen, Bradley Chubb, Jonathan Allen, Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Brian O'Rapo, Derek Johnson, Almus Dumerville, Terrell Suggs. So when you look at these guys, what are they? Fucking good. And what are they? They're also productive. Kyle Kennard was a Georgia Tech guy, transferred out. I like the Georgia Tech guys who transfer out. Reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs. Reminds me of Jared Ivey. Kyle Kennard happens to have that with him as well. 11.5 sacks. 2 forced fumble, or my bad, 3 forced fumbles on the season. 3? This dude's a fucking stud, boys. He's an athletic freak, and he's not one of those guys that you'd be like, hey, is he a power rusher or what is he? No, he's a fucking edge rusher. You put him on the edge and you let him get to the quarterback. Yeah, he could improve as a run stuffer setting the edge, but he gets to the quarterback. As Lions fans, what are we saying they need to do this offseason? Get guys that can get to the quarterback, and he does not have that much development to go. Like his pass rush moves are ready. Like I said, it comes to the run game. That's why he's kind of fallen. And then look who fell to me in the second round. Jordan Birch, arguably my favorite player in this draft. Dude's an athletic freak, 6'6", played at Oregon. when you look at Oregon, the guy who stood out when you watch their defense was Jordan Birch. And like I said, he's 6'6", damn near 290 pounds. He's the same size as Shamar Stewart. But what does he have? 8.5 sacks. What does Shamar Stewart have? 1.5. He has production, and he's played at Oregon, and he played at South Carolina, was a 5-star recruit, so intangibly he's there. And honestly, boys, not my favorite player in the draft, but my favorite pick of this mock draft, Billy Bowman Jr., safety out of Oklahoma, a little undersized, but let me tell you, fellas, playmaker. We're talking about who's going to fill in for Ife Malafanu. I think the Lions move off of Ife this year, and you now need depth at safety. And at 132, not only was a great safety, or I shouldn't say great, really good safety there, but it was probably the best player available too. In the third round, who did Brad find in the third round at the safety spot? Kirby Joseph, great. Last year, he had 6 interceptions. This year, he's one of the best defensive backs in the Big 12. And Oklahoma actually had a good defense this year. It's kind of flat for them. Normally, they have a good offense, terrible defense. They had a really good defense. And in the secondary, he's led by Billy Bowman. Miles Frazier, don't know a thing about him, boys. I'm not going to lie. When it came to this area, I was like, okay, I need to draft interior offensive lineman. LSU, Brad took Mekhi Wingo last year. Didn't turn out too bad. So I'm going to go with Miles Frazier here. Get kind of like a Graham depth piece if he goes down and they don't sign anybody in free agency. And then Isaac Tesla, boys, very close to the show here, supports the channel all the time on social media, but he went to Hillsdale for 2 years and then all of a sudden got an offer from Arkansas. And this dude can fly. He's not really a polished wide receiver, but it's more so, what can you do for me? What can we try to get out of you? He's not ever going to be a wide receiver 1 or 2, but he's going to be a very solid special teamer. Jabbar Muhammad, one of Oregon's best DBs last year. When you go back and watch him against Ohio State, Oregon, I'm saying, and you watch their defensive backs, Jabbar Muhammad was their best corner without a doubt. Boone, long wingspan, very long wingspan.
Love that.
Again, special teamer guy, not a guarantee, but he's physical guy. Probably going to be like an Amari Uwarie, if anything. But again, you draft him in the 7th round. You're hoping on the upside, a lot of risk. And then, Jeff, we shared the same final pick, Jordan Hancock. Dude brings the fucking boom. He's definitely going to be somebody that you can play on special teams year 1. And he's just very solid. Not a lot of upside, but high floor. I think he's a really good special teamer. But between him and Jabbar, I think that's good secondary depth to get late in the NFL draft.
All right. Hey, Kyle Kennard. I had to do a little more research into Kyle Kennard.
I need to watch some film on this guy. I need to figure him out a little bit.
I when I first saw the name, I'm like, Kyle Kennard, and I had to go watch and check him out. And yeah, he's a big dude, and he's productive.
So Klotzy
too.
Yeah. Hey, I love in this, and again, there's 2 things I love, and you're gonna see it in my mock draft too. I love the double edge to start.
Yeah,
love it. And even if Jordan Birch wasn't like able to go inside out, I don't care. Like, you're giving yourself a chance to find a dog. Like that's all I care about, is getting someone on the other side of Aidan Hutchinson. And whether you go back-to-back edges that are the same type of, I don't care. Like, I just want the opportunity to find someone who's going to end up panning out. So I like that, Klotzy. And I also, again, you're going to see it in mine, the corner and safety in the 7th round. You're probably not going to find an instant starter, but one of these guys, and like you see it all the time in the secondary. There are guys late in the draft that end up being very decent to where they're going to give you some minutes. And as long as they're in the right situation, I need to see who this Jabbar Muhammad guy is.
He's good. Honestly, I don't see him falling all the way to the 7th, just because intangibly he has everything you want in a corner. He's probably a little bit smaller, but I don't know why he'd fall that far. Probably like a 5th round guy, but I saw him in the 7th. I'm like, oh, definitely picking him up real quick.
Hey, good one. I like that, Klotz. This is a good one. Jeff, anything for him?
Yeah, you know what? I'm interested because I like Miles Frazier, the player. I just don't know what another guard would do for me, if I'm being honest.
I was just like,
wait.
When I'm thinking about it, Graham can play center. So now you can have, I'm assuming if Zeitler walks, they bring in another free agent. Rumors have it they're the guard for Kansas City. I'm blanking on his name. Trey Smith. Rumors has they're connected with him. So I'd imagine they're going to bring in another veteran if Zeitler walks. So now you have Glasgow floating there if you want to move Mahogany up, which I hope they do. So now you can have Graham as a backup center, bring in a backup guard, because you never know what's going to happen if you sign a veteran guy.
Spot on, Klotzy.
There. So
I would rather, honestly, I think I would rather go a guard that could potentially move around if I'm going.
A little more versatility. you know?
Yeah, just in case someone goes down, because I do think this year there's a chance that Christian Mahogany is starting.
Now, I would say my only pushback, I guess, but that was really a question. I wasn't really pushing back on Myles because I actually like the player. The only thing, and this is, again, not the player.
This is going to be funny.
I like Billy Bowman. Okay, you put me on to Billy Bowman. He's going to be good. Okay, that we can agree there. Where was your head at with the wide receiver position at over safety? Where were you at? I'm just curious, genuinely curious.
Where I think where they're at, the Detroit Lions right now, they need more help on the defense. I look at the wide receiver spot. Can it need help? Yes, but Billy Bowman at that spot is without a doubt the best player
BPA,
at least in my that's where, okay, let's be realistic. Like, you can draft a wide receiver in the 3rd round. That's fine. Like, I won't be mad at it. You boys know I'll take a wide receiver happily. But if you can get a game-changing guy like that and add competition to that nickel and safety spot, where both of it, especially the safety spot's needed, and what do they like? They like playmaking safety. So this is a guy that is definitely not Kirby when you look at his build, but what he does is a lot like Kirby. Like, he's undersized, but the dude just flies around the fucking field. Like, he plays like he's 6'3", 6'4", and he's undersized. He's a little slim. Like, if he puts on weight, like, he kind of plays a little bit like Booner Baker, and I think that's somebody that you have on your third option at the safety spot. I prefer that because I think they can still go out in free agency and get another depth wide receiver spot.
Yeah, he Billy Bowman, I was looking more into him. I mean, the takeaways are there. Okay, there's no arguing that. So, and he's played all around on that defense. So,
yeah.
Hey, good job, Klotzy. All right, Boone. Let's
do it.
I want to now. This is Boone's first ever mock. Let's check this out, huh?
Come on,
hey, why do you say it like that? Hey, this is good.
No, because you're capping us off. So you just like save the best for last kind of thing. Is this what?
Yeah, I think honestly, I love mine, and maybe I think people will love it too. Honestly, the first couple picks, I think people are going to be a little shocked and like, whoa. But
let's get to it, Boone.
Listen. Klotzy,
Boone,
can you throw it up? There's only one thing I care about. There's only one. Listen, and I hope the people respect me for this, because there's only one thing that people know how much I hate Ohio State. As a Michigan man, I never thought I would do this. 3 months ago, Klotzy, when Michigan beat Ohio State, I thought I would never want Jack Sawyer in the Honolulu Blue. I want the Detroit Lions to win a Super Bowl. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And that's why at 28 overall, give me Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. Listen, Klotzy, I just want someone who's going to go out there and compete. If you have Aidan Hutchinson on one side and a Jack Sawyer on the other side, this kid, I'm telling you guys, this kid is an absolute dog. Like, offensive lineman tackles are going to not be like, I don't want to play against this guy. Just like they think with Hutch or they think with the Myles Garrett. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be at that level, but it's just like mentally, Jack Sawyer, he got in my head, even though we beat him. He ran out there and took the flag off the field and ran. I love that at the end of the day. As much as I hated it versus Michigan, I love the fact that Jack Sawyer's out there and he has that kind of dog and that Dan Campbell mentality, that gritty mentality that he wants to go out there and all he cares about is winning football. That's it. He doesn't care about anything else. So I love it. And at the end of the day, Klotzy, I'll give him a lot of credit too. Like, he knows, like, dude, his IQ, his power, everything he does is at the highest level. Everything. Like, in the biggest moments, he had the biggest plays of the season. Like versus Michigan, he had the interception in the end zone that should have won them the game. Versus Texas, he had the what was that? I think it was a fumble that he picked up and ran it back for a touchdown. Yep. This guy makes plays in the biggest games, biggest moments. And you can have the conversations like early in his career wasn't great, but coming out this year, making the plays in winning football that he did and with 9 sacks on the year and touchdowns, like, you want him on your team. I don't know. I text Jeff this too. I don't know how Jack Sawyer fell to 28 because every single mock draft I've done this morning before I did my legit one, he was going at like 25, 26, 27, like right before I was going. And then I went in at like 12 o'clock, did mine, and it was like he just was there. And I was like, have to take him. 60 though, Jared Ivey, boys. Klotzy, you did a breakdown on him last week. He was available at 60 somehow. I don't know how. It probably goes earlier. But if he's there, whether you already took Jack Sawyer and another edge or not, boys, what did Dan Campbell do last year? Back-to-back corners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back-to-back corners. He just said, hey, we have a position of need. We're going best player available, and we're going to take that best player or the position of need as well. That's what I think this year in the draft at 28, at 60. I think there's a chance you see back-to-back edges off the board for the Detroit Lions just because they're like, hey, defensive line, you saw what the Eagles did, and what the Eagles did, you want to say, hey, we need to copy that. It's a copycat league. You want to go get yourself some edge rushers and someone to get to the quarterback. So Jared Alvey at 60. Jeff, Pat Bryant at 132. I was in between a few different guys, and I couldn't decide. This is where I'm at with the wide receiver thing. People keep putting in the chat, you're going to get a comp pick at like 100 in the third round. It's going to be before 132 most likely. I think that's where you go wide receiver. Whatever that comp pick is, you go wide receiver because at 132, like I like Pat Bryant. He is unbelievable. He catches everything, Jeff. Like everything that's thrown at him, catches it.
Yep.
It's impossible to tackle him. Like he is like your ideal like replacement for Tim Patrick. But I do think there are guys like Jaden Higgins from Iowa State, like that are just at a different level than Pat Bryant. And if you can somehow trade up in the third, and like a Jaden Higgins falls out of the second, and you get him, I would rather take that all day over Pat Bryant. But that was the kind of best wide receiver available. 194. Klotzy, text you about him.
Yeah,
Out of the
hey, this is we do my now. Here's the guy, Boone. Go ahead and do now.
Guy.
Here's the guy on Ty Robinson.
Ty Robinson. I got some notes on him too. I wrote some notes. This guy, Jeff, 6'6", 310. If you watch his film, this man he looks like the Incredible Hulk. He is huge, massive, straight muscle. You know how you said Giovanni Manu is just what do you call him? What do you say about him?
He's 6'8", 350, no gut.
No gut on Ty Robinson. 6'6", 310, defensive lineman. I think he's played like every position on the defensive line, every technique. I think he's flexible. He moves around. This man is just a bully. When you talk about like, hey, Dan Campbell just loves dudes that just get in there. Hey, we want to play bully. This is Ty Robinson. If you haven't watched this film, go watch it. This year, 12 tackles for a loss and 7 sacks as a interior guy. This is the guy. If you want to find a guy, and when I did it went 194. They said it was a bad pick because he's going to go in the 200s. Not a bad pick. Once you start watching his film, everything's going to turn. You're going to be like, hey, we need this guy in here. Replace Josh Pascal. Replace Broderick Martin. Give me Ty Robinson in that spot.
Boone, you know who he can replace immediately? And it might hurt your heart, but I think you'll be happy about it. This is your commish replacement.
Hey, which is fine. Listen, if you can find someone better, this guy has a motor. And that's what I want, a guy that just has a motor and he's smart. Like his IQ's high. He's flex. He can play any position.
Sneaky fast, some would say.
Yes, I think literally one of the things that I saw when I was doing research on him, and every single bullet point that I saw on every single website and everything I was looking at with this guy, everyone just says this guy is quick for his size. 6'6", 310. Quick, Jeff.
Lunch pail kind of guy.
Yes. He's going to come to work every day. All right. My son, I guess, yeah, he has to come to work every day. So he's going to come to work.
You know what I just saw about Ty Robinson? I just did a quick. He had offers to he had an offer to Alabama.
That's where
Nebraska.
Yep. He wants a dog mentality.
Yeah.
I want to be an underdog. I want to find a way out of.
He wants to win with the Huskers and Matt Rule.
I respect that too. I love that. My 7th round picks though, these ones guys, like again, the 7th round picks, I think this is going to be interesting all off season, seeing like who we kind of go with that just based off it's tough to find guys. At 226 though, I think this is kind of a sneaky like a solid steal here. Malachi Moore, he was a 5th-year guy at Bama. He played all 5 seasons at Bama, boys. And if you guys know anything about Brad Holmes, he loves his Alabama guys. And then if you want to say, well, it's Kellen DeBoer there now, it's not Nick Saban. No, he was there for 4 years and started for 4 years under Nick Saban. I don't know if he started his first year, but I think after his 2nd, 3rd, 4th, he was out there playing with guys like Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold, and he played under Nick Saban. In 2023, I think Nick Saban's last year, he was the captain of that. He was one of the captains on that defense. So like Malachi Moore is an absolute dog. His IQ's up there. I know this year, and I forgot all about it because I remember I watched the game, but he did have some issues where he kind of freaked out, had a couple tough penalties, like unsportsmanlike conducts. But I think that's like, hey, push that to the side. This guy can just play. He's an absolute dog. What did I write down for my notes for him? Hold on, let me see. What did I have? Swiss Army knife, too. I put this down. Swiss Army knife. You know one thing that the Lions need in the secondary? Versatility. The man, he played free safety. He's played strong safety and nickel all at Bama. Everywhere. Who does that remind you of, boys?
Well, Brian Branch-esque, huh?
Brian Branch. He doesn't have the same size and all of that, but he's able to move around. Football IQ. He's a Bama guy. We know how the Bama guys are and how Brad loves his Bama guys, especially under Saban. There's not going to be much guys left that are coming from under Saban over the next few years. Malachi Moore is one of them. 229. Boys, if I'm just going to be honest.
Break it down.
Dylan Fairchild. Yeah, honestly, I just wanted to get a guard. He was one of the best left available. So I said, give me Dylan Fairchild from Georgia. Hey, if you're playing in the SEC as a guard, I respect you. One thing I saw about him, though, he only has 10 starts at left guard. So he doesn't have a ton of experience. But the guys, I went and watched like about 5 minutes of his film. Probably just as solid as you can get. And I know it's like highlights, but this guy just like no one's getting around him. He just plants and just like his pass rush or his pass pro, unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable. And I don't know why he would be at 229. I feel like he should be like in the 100s. If you get him in the 7th round, that's a steal just to back up Christian Mahogany. Learn a little bit. You're not expected to start. Learn a little bit. And then my last guy, Klotz, I feel like you would love this guy too, Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill. Have you heard of him?
Tommy Hill.
Are you familiar? Is Klotz frozen right now?
No. I'm not familiar with this.
He's not familiar. You got to tell him.
Tell you what, this is going to be an end of draft.
I was waiting for you to inform me.
Hey, he transferred into Nebraska. When he got to Nebraska, he was a DB. They've switched him to wide receiver. The man, he catches he's a dog. You know, he's one of those high IQ guys, versatile, he just knows the game of football, went from wide receiver, and then this last year moved back to corner, and he was a dog. I think he had like 13 pass deflections, which is the most in the Big Ten. He had 4 interceptions. Hey, Klotz, the one thing about him, he's 6 foot. His wingspan is like 6'3" or 7. It's like 79 inches, right? I think I'm like 6'3" when I looked it up. So he has that. I say one thing about corners, learned it from my guy, John Gruden. If you have a longer wingspan than you do your height, you're going to be a good corner. He's not a guy that's going to start, but when we talk about, replacing guys like Kendall Vildor, Tommy Hill, step right in. Get ready to play football.
Wow. Tommy Hill.
Hey, go watch some Tommy Hill. Go watch some Tommy Hill film. He's a dog. He flies around.
Yeah, I think I noticed too with DBs, especially DBs that transition or vice versa, like Kirby was a wide receiver. They just got hands, just hands.
Yeah, that was what I thought of right away was the Kirby thing. And then I was like, when I watched some of his stuff, he's like a ball hawk. And he probably could have had more interceptions, but he's just really like a ball hawk. Like he knows what the quarterback's doing because he's played on offense for a couple years. But yeah, that's my mock draft point 1.0.
I love it, Boone. I love it. You put me on to Ty Robinson. Thank you for that. Shout out Boone knower right there. That's what
maybe 79 inches isn't 6'3" Derek Lash. I looked up on Google. I did say, can you please give me a translation or whatever? It said 6'3", I think. I could have been way off, to be honest, on my research.
I'd give this draft an A, Boone. The only thing that keeps me from giving it an A+, again, this draft is an A. So this is like nitpicking here. Jack Sawyer and Jared Ivey, very similar players, both kind of power rush. Boone, I'm just letting you. I think an A+ would have been if you can get a speed rush guy somewhere there, somebody that brings a different little look. That's the only thing. But otherwise, but I love both those players. Bring them both up.
I think my mindset was more so whether they're the same player or not. One of them has to hit, right?
Yeah,
one of those guys.
No, Boone, you just want power. I mean, you got power guys. I'm
tired of I'm tired of the pocket not collapsing for great quarterbacks. I want to collapse that pocket. Put Jack Sawyer, Jared Ivey, Ty Robinson in there.
Yeah, Ty Robinson's he's a massive dude. There's no denying that. Jack Sawyer's a excellent pick. He was picked before I could take him, but he's a great. I would be all comfortable with this outcome.
Yeah, I would love to be honest. If this happened, I would be pumped up, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, as people should be. Jack Sawyer in a Lions uniform would be awesome. That would be awesome. And if you don't get Myles Garrett, of course, this is all, of course, if you don't get Myles Garrett, because if you do, you won't have a first round pick.
I would much rather have Myles Garrett highlights rolling for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's If it's the first two, that's fine. If it's just the first, great. But Myles Garrett is better than, I'm sorry, Jared Ivey and Jack Sawyer put together in one season.
Yeah, we should have just. I should have showed up today, and every pick was an edge. I should have just said
Myles Garrett.
That would
Myles
have
Garrett,
been, that would have been funny.
Yeah, just like one of them's got to hit, dude. At least a couple of them
going all in.
Yeah. No, this is.
I might show up one of these Mondays just with like the most, like Colston Loveland at 28.
It's like
I'd fucking shoot you if you put Colson Loveland at 28.
That'd be
so
funny.
Gross.
It's like the people that sent in mocks that had like kickers on every pick or whatever.
Hey, we did that for a while. Remember, we wanted my guy out of Arkansas, my little brother.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't
Harrison?
Did the Vikings have him?
It might. No, Vikings got the Bama guy.
Reichert. That's Will Reichert.
I think my guy. I'm pretty sure.
Harrison
I don't think he played all year.
Cut. He was cut.
Yeah. Good thing we didn't use a pick on him.
He was cut. But Cam Little is another guy we had, and
where's he kicking? Jags?
Kicking Jags. He's good. Yeah.
I mean, we have our guy. We have Jake Bates. I would way rather.
They found Jake Bates just chilling in the UFL.
Cam Little, besides Brian Thomas, is probably their best draft pick. Probably the last 5-6 years.
Yep. Cam Little.
I put him over Trevor. He hit right away. Cam Little did. Trevor
Nowatzki?
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm playing.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, can't get Trevor Nowatzki
off your mind. Gotta find a way. Don't
you? I was texting Klotz today when I did this, and I was putting like a list of a bunch of guys. Like, this is going to be the defense, and I just ended it with Trevor Nowatzki. Period. I was hoping that you just didn't see that.
Yeah. By the way, pulls up. Boone, I let it rock for a little bit. You have won the poll. People love the Jack Sawyer.
Boone.
You have
Jack Sawyer. I think the Jack Sawyer thing was just luck because when I did my drop, a couple like practice ones this morning, he didn't fall to me, and then when I did my when I was ready to go, he was just sitting there, and I was like,
"What lets you know that you were ready to go?" Like what made it a practice mock draft compared to this is the one.
I was working this morning at like 7:38. And I realized when I realized that I'm going to do a couple, and then Jeff texts at like 8:30 or something and said he was going to do his in the morning. So I went through and did a couple mocks. Like I was like, I haven't done any all year. So I went and did like 3 or 4, and then I waited a couple hours. Like I was like, all right, I got to sit on this a little bit. I got to take a step back. And then 12:30 came around. Ate some food, had some lunch, and then
pregame meal.
Yeah, and then I sat down. I go, all right, it's about this time. And I because when you do it, you got to just be like, you're in. Like you can't back out because then it's like you start really overthinking all these other picks. And then I just hit it. I said honestly, my phone sat open on PFF probably 2 straight hours, and I was like, there's a couple like when I got to Pat Bryant, I text Jeff. I was like panicking. I was like, I don't know who to pick. It took me probably 30 minutes to pick Pat Bryant.
And then I just texted him back. I'm like, dude, I did it in one try.
I technically did it in one try. It just took very long to make the decisions.
Yeah. No,
I treated it like a real draft.
You were shaking the rust off at first.
Yeah.
What was the pregame meal? I'm intrigued.
I think it was just some like chicken, rice.
Yeah.
Or I
solid.
think. Yeah.
Stable meal before entering the mock.
Yeah.
Had a piece of banana bread.
Ooh,
that was cool.
That's what made the banana bread is what made Jack Sawyer fall. He was the guy that got.
Yeah, honestly, you were that was putting good juju in there. Hey, draft night, banana bread got to be there.
We'll have some.
Let Jack Sawyer fall if they pick there.
That'd be unbelievable.
I think Jack Sawyer's he's the darling of Lions fans. I think, and he should be. That should be the guy that everyone's like hoping the Lions get at some point. I've noticed that as we get closer, even the Michigan fans are even like, hey, talent,
game.
Yeah,
they recognize game. That's for sure. They know when a Buckeye's balling.
And you always bring up Klotzy. Oh, I can't imagine like certain universities, with certain positions. When I think of edge, a pretty good school I would say is probably OSU. I would say.
Yeah, I mean they've produced some of the best.
Pretty good.
What don't they produce besides quarterback?
Okay, well now I gave you something. You took it. Yeah, now you're running.
Ryan Day.
We're talking about this. This has nothing to do. NFL success.
Defensive coordinators.
Like, wow, we couldn't have done this without Ryan Day. We they're not thinking about Ryan Day.
They don't produce coaches. Did they have any coaches go on and be successul?
Player wise, Booner.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's on me.
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
That's on me. Hey,
just off the top, like,
sorry, Klotz.
who's your best offensive lineman? Like to enter like in the last 10 years? Like who's like
Ever? God, I can see his face right now. I played for the Packers. Oh, he wasn't. TJ Lang was one of them, but I'm thinking of another guy.
like Decker? Like he's a tackle.
Decker's mid. No.
But that's what I'm saying. Like probably offensive line. Like that's like Michigan.
Yeah, but they have good offensive line.
They do, but I'm talking. You talking about? You said pros. You said pros.
Yeah, fair. I'm trying. This is his last name Sutton. Oh my God, he had long hair.
Okay.
He had
that's
like long.
Huh? That's we're getting there.
Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Why don't you just look it up, dude? Like, just go on your phone.
I don't know what name to look up. Yeah, I'll
Just look up offensive lineman, NFL, Ohio State or something. That's what I do.
I see Michael. He said Joe Clapp said he wanted Paris Johnson. That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, we're Ohio State. He's okay. He's pretty good.
I'm saying in the NFL,
Jeff Merrill
like,
said
he's not even,
Bakhtiari.
like, I'm
Is
gonna, like,
Bakhtiari
take
Ohio
pride.
State?
That's a Buckeye.
Is Bakhtiari Ohio State?
Who else? Who else you claiming? I mean,
No?
you probably want to claim Paris Johnson. You're literally Googling offensive lineman right now, bro. Like, just claim the guy. Like, it's Paris Johnson.
Josh Myers, very good. Jonah Jackson, I forgot he was a Buckeye.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Sick.
He was from Rutgers originally.
This is only active.
Didn't commit to you guys, huh?
What are you talking
You
about?
always get them when they're good already. You didn't earn it.
What are you talking about?
Hey, they don't develop well, Jeff.
Yeah, they don't
Jeff,
develop.
who's your team?
Ohio State doesn't have a developmental program. Nothing.
Like
It's
Caleb
either you come
Downs.
there and you're already great. Or
program. That's literally what
Come
Michigan
on, Caleb Downs. Come on.
Hey, we're just gonna take handouts. Just give free handouts. Caleb Downs. Hey, handouts. There you go.
Wide receiver.
They don't really work for it. They don't. At the end of the day.
I won't argue wide receiver.
Yeah, but they still get the top 5 wide receivers in every draft.
Corey Linsley. Nick Mangold is who I was trying to think of.
Oh, Nick Mangold. He played for the Jets forever. He's got
Corey Linsley, very good one.
I think Nick Mangold played with Braylon.
He played for the Chargers not too long.
Wasn't Nick Mangold the same time as Braylon in New York when they were in the AFC Championship game?
Would have been, yes.
Mangold.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Rob Sims, shout out.
Hey, shout out.
All right, we're turning this. Can we? I don't want to turn this into a Ohio State show.
I just want to.
I'm gonna keep.
I didn't want my pick from Jack Sawyer to
Doug Van Horn.
All right. Michael. Michael said Joe Klatt wanted to take Sawyer to the Lions, but he took Mike Green. Mike Green was gone for me, so didn't have that option.
Yeah, I think he was for me as well. Hey, can we do this so can you tell the people to send in their mock drafts? So I think we should do it like maybe Tuesdays or maybe Mondays.
Orlando Pace.
We could even do it after Mondays after we do ours. We could just do it
Klotz, he said Orlando Pace. Okay. Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, no, it's a great one.
You're killing over there.
But you're like, you see how you're like 10 minutes delayed? I mean, or 5 minutes delayed now. You know, it's like
that's fine. Wait on greatness. Orlando Pace is greatness.
Wait on greatness. Yeah, send in your mocks to our social media platforms at Official CT Pod, Twitter, or I mean, you could do Instagram, but usually it's better Twitter. We'll actually find most.
Yeah,
of them.
I've already seen a couple come through too. So
yeah, I told everyone today earlier. So just send them in. We'll get to them tomorrow. So not today, but tomorrow we will get them. Michael says, where am I sending my mock if I refuse to do
Instagram? You can send it to our Instagram. Yeah,
you can do Instagram as well.
Facebook, whatever is easiest.
Facebook's I would
rather Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah,
or
Facebook's
probably social media outletting platform.
If we're talking about priority to get your mock read, it probably goes Twitter, Instagram, and then spacebar.
And honestly, let's just do this. If you want to really send it, just text Jeff. It's 586. That would be top. Give his number out.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Screw it. People just send me their mock drafts. I'll roast some mock drafts. Screw it. I don't even care.
Picked up the phone call.
Yeah. I mean, we'll chop it up. Why not? All right. Hey, that was successful. That was
just getting random FaceTime calls.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. Good job.
Yeah, that was I think that was a good
1.0.
First mock draft Monday. That was successful.
You gotta let the first one just kind of, No trades. It's keep it now. Next week or the next couple weeks it'll get a little hectic. Okay, 86753. That's
Is that your actual number?
no, that's something probably if you,
8675309. It's a song. Great song, by the way.
it's like you're DMing a girl and she sends you that and says that's my phone number.
Tough.
You ever had that happen to you? It's tough.
Not the actual song number. I think I would pick up to it pretty quick. I'd be like,
you're like 86753. Oh, okay.
that would be heartbreaking if you asked and that was the number.
Yeah. Oh, all right. No, you're not showing your age, Michael. All right, let's move on here. We got a couple more things to get to. I wanted to get to something we weren't able to get to last week, and that was biggest offseason question for the Lions. And we talked about coordinators, but it doesn't have to be coordinators. It could be anything. It could be coordinators. It could be anything. What is your biggest offseason question, whether it's big or small? Okay, and I'll tell you, for me, I'll tell you what mine is. It's very simple. In that, ladies and gentlemen, is a sustainable pass rush. That is my biggest concern. I think that should probably be most Lions fans' concerns. And especially hearing Kelvin Shepherd talk about it today, I thought about it. I'm like, man, that really is probably the biggest concern. If he's mentioning today how important it is to have a front four or a front seven, whatever it is, whatever front you have, to be able to generate pressure, it would probably be a sustainable pass rush. That is my biggest concern this offseason. I think Brad he's a fixer. He will fix it like he always does. But you got to hit on guys. And that's where the draft comes into play. Or if you want to trade for proven talent like Myles Garrett, go ahead. I wouldn't complain. Or Trey Hendrickson. It doesn't matter. But you get the point. That, to me, is my biggest concern. Now, do I think they'll solve it? I do. Because if they don't, they will be right back at home in early January. So that is my biggest concern, boys. You need a sustainable pass rush. And I mentioned the numbers with sacks. Like the Eagles weren't top of the league in sacks, but they had the best defensive line. So it's not all about the numbers. A lot of it's eye test, pressures, making quarterbacks uncomfortable. Like it's not about leading the league in sacks. And I know people were like, well, Jeff, the Eagles and Lions had almost the same amount of sacks. Let's be real here. Okay, it's two different animals.
Meaningful sacks.
Georgia's talent in general. So that's where I'm at, boys. Sustainable pass rush. That's probably my biggest concern this offseason.
All right, you ready for mine?
Ready, Boone.
Yep.
We've already talked about it in this show, but mine's going to be offensive defensive coordinator. Like to be able to kind of take that next step this year. The biggest question in the offseason, I do think Jeff, I'm with you. I think you're going to make a big argument that edge defensive line getting to the quarterback's number one. But I think even higher than that, at the top of that, with these new coordinators, it's like you're coming off a year, a top 5 offense, not just of in the NFL, but like in NFL history with Ben Johnson. So like you're trying to move off of that, and you're bringing in John Morton, and then defensively, like you have a rookie defensive coordinator. Like we saw with AG for the years, even though he didn't have a bunch of the people, like a bunch of the players and this and that, but like a rookie DC, Kelvin Shepherd's going to have his workout cut out for him, and he's going to have to prove it right away, I think. Especially Klotz, if we have to play the Eagles week 1, like, all right, here we go, Kelvin. Like, you there's no excuses at this point. You're a contending team in the NFL, one of the biggest games of the year right away. Like, here we go. I think that, honestly, at the end of the day, it has to be the biggest question going into this offseason and going into the 2025 season is, hey, how are these coordinators going to work? I can't wait to get to camp, boys. I've been saying it. I can't wait to get there. Maybe we're lucky enough to kind of have a conversation with one of these guys, but like the John Morton thing, I'm just interested to see when camp starts and we're there, what this offense looks like. Like, how different is it? Are they trying to keep things the same? Like, I think it's so important. And Klotz, like, I understand your concerns with it, and we need to see it on the field. So I think, like, if you are talking about, hey, what's the biggest key this offseason for the Detroit Lions? It is coordinators. The coaching staff, all of that. That is going to make or break how this season goes this year. If these coordinators fall apart, just like the Eagles a couple years ago, you're in a bad spot. You're instantly a step behind from all these other teams, like the Chiefs, who already have their coordinators set in place with Andy Reid, Spagnuolo. Like, you're a step behind already. So it's definitely going to be, to me, the coordinators.
Yeah, both of you guys hit great questions. I don't think mine is as large as far as like what it can mean for the spectrum of the team, but I do think it's very important because it revolves around, especially offensively, Boone, what John Morton's able to do, and that is Taylor Decker. When you look at Taylor Decker, boys, he's the left tackle. Jeff, what was your point? The pass rush. Guess what? Every team around the NFL is going to make their priority this year. Even the Philadelphia Eagles, their pass rush. Where is Myles Garrett most likely going to land? In the NFC. So if he lands on a contending team like he wants to go to in the NFC, chances are you're going to have to play him. And when you have Penei Sewell on one side, guess what defensive coordinators are going to start to take advantage of routinely, especially now. He gave up 8 sacks last year, boys. Gave up 8 sacks this year. Here's the difference. He played in 14 games, so he didn't play in the amount of games. He gave up 32 pressures. And we talk about Jared Goff. We saw Jared Goff take steps as far as mobility inside the pocket. So Jared Goff and Ben Johnson, especially with and I know Hank Fraley's there, but the thing with the run game too, especially is Ben Johnson, he was so creative in how the runs blocking schemes were created. So that kind of helped prevent Taylor Decker. He's been good in the run game, but that kind of covered up some flaws in the passing game, boys, especially late in the year. Taylor Decker at some points was a liability out there. And I just think it's because he's been a player that has dealt with injuries, played through them, but now he's getting older and they just re-signed him to a contract. So he's got 2 more years under contract. I don't know what Taylor Decker we're going to see this year because there hasn't been much hope for him to be that left tackle that just protects Jared Goff's blind side. And I think Lions, you want to make her Super Bowl run, especially with no Ben Johnson, a new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. Jared Goff's blind side has to be protective, and I've seen way too many spurts of Taylor Decker recently not being able to do it efficiently enough. So I think it's definitely something to watch. I don't think Taylor Decker is going to go out there and be a bum, but I am watching, okay, should the Lions, I think a question could potentially be at the end of next season, okay, do the Lions need to draft a left tackle? Because I think they're on that point where it's, okay, you got 1, maybe 2 more years of Taylor Decker, and I would hate to see something happen where it's just the left side of the tackle spots being exposed now when the offensive line has been something that's been the best in the league.
I actually don't hate that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that was actually a really good one. I do think, and even not just Taylor Decker, Klotz, it's like the whole offensive line, like bringing back Kevin Zeitler. Like if we're talking about offseason questions, bringing back Kevin Zeitler, finding with Graham Glasgow, like is it going to be Christian Mahogany or Graham, and getting Graham help? Like is he going to end up being what he was this last year? Because if he was, that's you're in a world of hurt, especially offensively, trying to do what you got to do. So I'm with you, Klotzy. I wouldn't even say just Taylor. I think just as a whole, like the only 2 guys that to me are legit solidified on that offensive line, Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell. And it's like because you don't have Kevin Zeitler on the team yet. You have to re-sign him. So you have one of the best in the league, and right now 2 of your 5. You have 2 of 5 that you probably can truly trust.
What would be your guys' opinion now that like we're just on the conversation? Because like you said, if Decker goes down, who's next? So would you be surprised if they
sign
take a tackle? I say even draft.
I mean draft. I wouldn't be shocked if they sign a tackle.
Can we just listen? We're just tiptoeing around it. Like when is Penei going to start a left tackle? Like I'm serious. Like the guy's the best athlete on planet.
Maybe this is the year.
I mean, and I know Taylor Decker has never played right, so it's unfair of them to ask him just to play it. But eventually, I'm not saying this year, but like next year, you're going to have to really think to yourself, we have one of the best offensive linemen on the planet, and we have him playing right tackle. Like, wouldn't you want the best offensive lineman on planet Earth to play left to protect his blind side at some point? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not going to happen this season, but I'm just talking like big picture. Like, that's got to be something that Penei will end up playing left tackle in the near future, right? Like, you guys disagree with that?
Yeah, I mean, at some point he's going to, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I don't think
it'll be this season. I don't think it'll be this season.
I'd rather have a rookie right tackle and Penei go to left than Penei stay at right tackle and have a rookie left tackle.
I agree with that.
But if you miss,
it's bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Jared Goff's going to be, I mean, he's going to have a tough time. So I'm with you. Shout out Mike.
Shout out on.
He just drops the doc faces in there. I know he's watching.
One of the funniest moments I think over the last few months, when the doc asked for his emoji or whatever it's called, Doc thought he already had one, and it was Mike. And he sent it to me and goes, "Hey, I love this, boys. Appreciate it." And then I think I could be wrong, but the interaction that I had, I was like, I think Doc thinks that this is him.
Yeah, and then we were like, we're getting, because right after he started asking for one.
Yeah, and then he was like, I need one. I thought that was so funny because I think it was the hat and Mike's.
Yeah, and then Mike joins right when I'm wearing Red Wings gear. It's it caught me off guard here.
Might be wearing a Piston hat. He might have shook off the dust. You never know.
Yeah,
honestly, I think the rivalry between you two, I think it needs to officially, like, you guys need to end
That
it. Like, sign what is it? A sign a treaty? Yeah, you guys need to like sign a treaty. But hey, we're done.
He keeps opening his mouth.
We're both of the teams are going to be in the playoffs. There's no reason to have a battle. Like, hey, and now it's time to come together and win some playoff games. That's all I hear now. That's all that matters.
And by the way, Coach says, why doesn't Caleb have an emoji? He does now. He does have an emoji.
There is a Caleb emoji.
Coach, you're sleeping.
Caleb's got one too. So yeah, Caleb's got one. Doc's got one. It's just
got to turn the nightlight on to show Coach Walk where it's at. It's dark. You sleeping? Got to turn the nightlight on. It's right down there, Coach Walk.
Hey, you know what Coach Walk?
Not laugh, Coach. I'm not laughing.
You know what Coach is doing? It's accountability. He's making sure, hey, you boys, you better have Caleb one, or else we're gonna have some problems here.
I'm not laughing at Coach Walk, man. It's my
guy. Yeah, check out Mike and Caleb on Saturdays, man. 10 to 11 a.m. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, I tuned in this
now that the Wings and Stons are cooking up. Tigers about to be heating up too. Yeah. I can't wait to have a Tiger season with Caleb. Because Caleb,
I'm pumped up to go to the games, man. Oh, yeah. That reminds me, opening day. That's in the itinerary. I cannot wait for opening day. We need to hit Raj up too. Oh, that's
right. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Caleb and covering the Tigers, man.
Yeah,
he about his Tigers.
I was texting him today. He's fired up about it. He's fired up about Tiger stuff, man. He is. He's a dog. He's just ready to get after it, dude. He's not just like I'm like I can't imagine this. We already put out a reel of him talking on Bregman, and it did really well. So he's doing great stuff.
We need to send Caleb on like those road trips to all these minor league teams. Hey, go get us some intel here.
Throw him in a Motel 6, give him like $50, tell him to hit.
Give him a GoPro and just get everything on film. GoPro everything.
Zach said I think you need to look at replacements for Zeitler and Decker right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. I wouldn't be mad. I just would be really mad if they did it with the first 2 picks, because I think currently, like, you're not in a position to be like, let's draft for the future when you need to like win now. Like, you need someone to help you out now.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Don't let Giovanni Manu show up already.
Yeah, please. No, literally, do not let him show up. I would not be mad if he didn't make the roster next year. Okay, that's a Broderick Martin. If Broderick Martin didn't work, Giovanni Manu. Shoot me if it does not. Giovanni Manu will
Jeff.
the line to the starter. Stop.
Klotz, I'm pausing your teleprompter. Jeff, this was last year when I told you Klotz ends guys too early. Like he doesn't have that sense of like patience.
Giovanni Manu. Out of all people,
early, Broderick Martin and Levi Onwuzurike.
And Levi was very fine this last offseason.
Are you re-signing him?
Maybe not, but
are you? What did we talk
Dude,
about?
Dude, Giovanni Manu was a rookie. He was a developmental rookie.
You don't know,
and he ain't developing.
You don't know that. You haven't. He hasn't played. You don't know.
You don't know about Giovanni.
Well, Giovanni Manu.
I'm not making
I'm
not making a bet, but what I'm saying is he could be developing. It's behind closed doors. That's all we know.
Hey, will he step on the field
and play meaningful snaps?
Wow. I don't know about this.
It's a pizza. Meaningful snaps, meaning like offensive snaps.
Yep. Not like I'm talking about like preseason. I'm talking about regular season. Like there will be an injury, maybe at guard.
This is a free pizza.
You
don't know what you got yourself into.
Whenever you hear about a player developing, like around the NFL, you hear hype from camp. What have you heard about Giovanni Manu?
But they'd actually have they did come out and say that he is developing. He's just let me hear it.
Let me hear the spiel. What have we seen out of Giovanni Manu?
You're talking about a guy who at British Columbia didn't have the expertise nor the experience, but you know what he has?
He's going to Indiana.
you know what I'm telling you right now, Klotzy? He's got the tangibles.
Does he?
6'8", 350, no gut.
You know what? You know what this is?
You know what he's been around? You know who he's been around? He had offers to play college football. He declined.
Where at?
Washington.
Oh yeah? What happened?
He stayed in British Columbia because he loved his coach.
No. Or he had
I thought you were about
opportunity
to say he
play.
loved his country.
This is the Lions, and I'm sorry. This is just plain as day what it is. This
He
is them
loved his
chasing
coach.
This is them chasing Jason Mailata, however the fuck you say it, from Philadelphia. They bring in the rugby player from overseas. That's a genetic specimen.
You
turns
got to
into
get.
an
You do have to
all-pro.
give him time though.
This
You
is-
can't.
This
You
is
can't just say right away though. You can't just be like 1 year in. Nope, I'm done. Like you do have to
I
say,
will.
hey, let's give it a little bit of time.
Okay,
I will.
Tyler
I
says
will.
he lives in British Columbia. See, Tyler's very familiar of the legend they call Giovanni Manu. You must not have heard.
the
He is-
legend.
He is a specimen. Okay, and I think you need to understand. You're expecting. Oh, he's only going to play tackle. Step him in at guard. See what happens.
Name me another 6'8",
Imagine if he's a
310
starter
pound
next year, Klotz,
offensive
just-
guard.
Oh, you go find out.
Klotz,
He's gonna
Klotz.
break the mold of the offensive guard position.
Klotzy,
Klotzy.
meet Giovanni Manu. That's who you need to
Hey,
meet.
Klotzy, after next year, if he is same position he was his last year, I will 100% just be like, Klotzy, I'm with you. Move on. Jeff can have his little fun time where he's like, year 3. After next year, if they don't have any, if there is no word out of Allen Park that he has made any jumps forward and he is like, hey, this is the guy of the future, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, can I just get this? These are question boys. Okay, this is not a shot. This is me. I want to feel the waters here.
go.
Okay, I'm testing the
All right.
waters. I'm gonna stay in the same spot, but I just want to see. So Giovanni Manu, 3rd round pick.
Oh, no,
What do you-
Klotz.
In your opinion, what do you think a 3rd round pick offensive tackle should be when he's drafted? Again, there's no right or wrong answering. I'm gathering information from the field.
So Booner, tell me if I'm off on this, and you can tell me. You can correct
Or
me.
you're on the stand, man. This is your argument. I mean,
I think if you take an offensive lineman in the 3rd round, he's got to be able. Typically, he's got to be able to play right away. Unless there's a specimen like Giovanni Manu,
okay,
6'8", 350. He's got quick feet.
trade up for him, by the way,
That's
too.
what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that can just move with the best of them, and I think I know he can do that. So I'm gonna say to your point. Typically, they play. Well, with Giovanni Manu, was he 4th? You better get your facts.
Okay.
straight.
Fourth
was he
round, fourth
fourth?
round. This
No,
is
okay,
Klotzy.
you know what?
This
Now
is
we're-
the
fourth
arguments with Klotzy. I've had these arguments with
Fourth
Klotzy.
round-
Where
okay,
Klotzy throws
okay.
facts
Let
out
me-
there. You
let
have
me
to
back
fact
up
check them
around,
sometimes,
fellas.
Jeff.
Let me back
You have
up
to
around.
fact check
4th
this
round
guy.
pick. 4th round pick.
There we go.
4th
Yeah,
round
hey,
pick.
you have to check those facts with this guy.
So
sometimes.
Correct.
His
Thank you. I
teleprompter was
wrong
typed
there.
in
Thank
wrong.
you.
I
Thank
think
you.
the amount of developmental players that Brad Holmes takes sometimes does frustrate people, but I actually don't hate taking like players that you could develop. Now the volume, like Broderick, you have Hendon who doesn't play. Then you have Giovanni. Like I get the volume, but if let's say there was no Broderick or no Hendon and he just took Giovanni randomly, I'm intrigued.
It is interesting the fact that in the
I'm
6th
intrigued.
round they grabbed Christian Mahogany, who's already started games in the NFL, and then you have Giovanni Manu in the 4th round, who
You
Taylor
can't
Decker. But the problem is, I know it's different, but like your 4th round tackle, Taylor Decker was down for multiple weeks, and he
Not even in.
guess
He was,
who's-
he was in
there was no-
civilian down the side.
yeah.
That's
But
the
then
that's
Graham
that-
Graham or like some of these guards go down, and guess who's up? Christian Mahogany, who missed all of training camp,
But-
and he's a 6th round pick.
But that's what you sign up for when you take a guy like that. Unfortunately, I know it stinks. Like the volume of guys they have like that, like Broderick was like that his first year. Like I hate it. But I don't know till I know. And I don't know at this point. What I do know
This
is
is
I
the
like
Hendon Hooker derangement syndrome.
No,
that you're
it's-
suffering
you
from
see,
in the
this
form
is
of
the problem.
Giovanni Manu.
no.
It
no,
is.
no.
Listen.
The intangible.
I'm gonna say it with the Brad Holmes stuff,
He's a
and Klotz.
mole.
I don't know if I'm in a tough spot here because I am with the hey, let's give Giovanni one more year because hey, you have to. He was drafted as a developmental project, but like it's weird because guys like Christian Mahogany, it really baffles me. Like it
But
does.
he played
Like
at Boston College. He played at Boston College. Like,
I
he
think that's the
played-
point, though. There is a point to where it's like if you're drafting the guy in the 4th round, you're using a pick. It's like with the hen. Just to me,
So
like
it's more of a Brad problem than it is a Giovanni problem.
well, I have mentioned
Yes.
I've mentioned the
Okay.
last 2 years. Like last year, Brad's drafting for development instead of finding guys that can play. Like great example. The Christian Mahogany stuff. Like, instead of finding guys that can play, he's going for Sione Vakis, trading up in the third for him, getting the Giovanni Manus. Like, instead, it's like you could probably get guys who could help you out now. Like, if you look at 2 years ago, the first half of the draft was unbelievable with Laporta and Branch. And the second half of the draft, none of those guys are doing anything for you. So, like, that's where it's like the Brad, it's like, hey, what are we doing here? Like, if Giovanni Manu doesn't work out and Sione Vaki, like, can I ask you guys this? Like, do you guys ever think Sione Vaki is going to actually be a starter on offense or defense for the Lions?
No.
So why'd you use a third-round pick on him and trade up?
Well, I think he was a fourth.
I read Boone,
or fourth, whatever it is,
question,
fourth round, whatever it is. But, like, I think that's the point Klotzy's like,
that
I
question
think
went through my mind at the Buffalo Bills game where I was like, hold on.
I don't think it's a bad question, because when I was in the arguments with you guys, when you guys were like, well, if you remember when I was on the side with no Myles Garrett, I didn't want to give up first round picks. My argument was, look at the back end of some of these drafts. Brad has found a couple guys, but like these developmental guys this last year, 2 years ago, that second half, it was just like tough, man.
But
a little
I
tough.
don't think Brad would draft like that if he didn't have first round picks. I will give him that. I don't think he would be taking.
He shouldn't draft like that no matter what.
But I will say, I again, it's not that he did it, it's the volume in which he did it. I don't mind taking a guy that you're like, hey, there's a lot here that I believe we can develop. But when you're taking like 2 every year, it's like, dude,
yeah,
you know, like that's what frustrates me. I don't mind.
Real quick, I love Sione Vaki. He's a great special teams guy. Like, he's going to be good. It's just like, all right, he played running back, right? And they had him working with running backs. Who was in front of him? Jameer Gibbs. And
Jameer,
well,
probably draft another running back too.
Jamar, yeah, Craig Reynolds. And then they're like, okay, you want him at safety? Brian Branch, Kirby. So it's like anything. Like Zach said, Saint was late round pick. Like, he drafted late round picks. Kirby Joseph, late round pick. And just more so, if you look at the volume of all of them, he's hit on some. But like, he started to turn towards like, hey, let's start developing guys. And it's like, you probably shouldn't right now. That's why you probably were in a similar position.
You know where I'm at right now? I feel like I'm like Giovanni Manu's lawyer. I'm like defending him. Like, right. But I will say the thing, I don't want Broderick Martin in the stink to start leaking and seeping into like the Giovanni Manu narrative. Like, let's keep it over there. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that good. All due respect. I'm sure he's a great guy. Awesome. I'd hang with him. We'd play Madden. We know it'd be awesome. But as a football player, hasn't panned out. Let's not let that affect Giovanni Manu. All right. Let's keep Giovanni.
I said, give him another year. Give him another year. If there's no forward progress,
keep it over there.
There we go.
All right. I'm talking to you, Klotz. You keep it over there.
I know. I
had a battle.
My stance very fair where it was.
I had a battle with Klotz about Levi Broderick Martin. I've 0 for 2. It's on those. I mean, I've dunked on Klotz.
Colby Sorsdahl
on those though.
Do we need to bring
0 for 3.
0 for 3.
Yeah, well, and John Kaminsky. You fall in love with these guys.
No, the commish. Don't do that.
I didn't bring up the commish.
No, that man. This man.
We fall in love with guys that for some reason.
The commish is a dog. Why are you saying this, Giovanni Manu stan?
But at least I haven't seen, like, we've seen Commish. We've seen the experience.
We're not talking about the Commish.
We've seen more out of Commish than we'll see out of Manu his whole career.
Klotzy is bringing up good points. You can't put the Commish and Colby. The Colby one was a miss for me. I thought Colby, and it really wasn't. I was like, Colby's going to be great. I just said, hey,
fill in.
Give him another year. Let's see what happens. Like, that's all it was.
Yeah,
and the year went by, and that was year 2 for Colby this year. He was in dress clothes, or he never dressed for a game this year, or he might have, but I don't remember. So, like, for Colby, it was like, I'm moving on. Christian Mahogany came in year 1 and started games over Colby Sorsdahl. So I'm out on him. It's not me. I'm not doing what you're doing, Jeff, and planting your flag and saying Gio's going to be the next tackle. Like, no Colby is just, hey, give him a year.
I'm telling you that I'm not saying Lucas bet me that he won't see the field at all. I think he'll be in a position to where they will feel more comfortable for him to play. So I don't think he's going to be like the next great tackle, but he's going to play more than Broderick. I'll tell you that if there is an injury. He won't be inactive all year.
Just let it. We've seen this movie. We
should do a thing this next year. Oh no, actually, I don't want to do that.
No, I want to make it very clear. So you're on Klotzy's side. We're doing this now. So Giovanni,
I didn't know
it's
what
over.
you were. I don't understand. I guess you're
I'm
saying
not-
that he's going to be this back. Like if they
No.
re-sign Dan Skipper, Dan Skipper's the backup tackle.
I don't want Dan Skipper to play a fucking snap this year.
He did good
That's
this year.
insane to
Dude,
say.
No,
You want Manu?
no,
That is
hold on,
insane
Hold
to
on.
say.
I didn't let me finish.
This is tough. I was
Not-
on your side at the start of this.
I
You have
can't
slowly
finish.
pushed
Let
me
me
away.
finish.
Hold on,
with
Boone.
it.
Let's let him finish.
At
boss.
left tackle, he can play as a bonus tackle, like when they do these jumbo packages, and he's at tight end. If Taylor Decker goes down, Dan Skipper's not. That's not his role. He's not.
Who
gonna
stepped in for him at left tackle this year?
They had like Graham Glasgow playing left tackle. They had all-
It was Skip.
And it
This
was
guy
awful.
doesn't watch
It is
football.
not-
He doesn't watch the games, Klotz.
guys.
It was
I
Dan
love-
Skipper started the whole game,
Just
and
please,
after Dan
digest
Campbell was like, that was
information
the
real
best.
quickly. Just digest a little information for me.
I gotta
okay?
go find this.
So this is. I'm not saying Dan Skipper has net. That's not. You're changing. You're changing the argument. What I'm
No.
saying is going into next year. You're arguing this year. Giovanni Manu was you signed up for basically a redshirt year. So that's not even an argument. He was never playing this year. Next year, if Dan Skipper plays left tackle over Giovanni Manu, I will raise my hand and say I'm an idiot because that would be awful. If
You
Dan
better get
Skipper
your
played.
shoulders stretched out because I can promise you, if they re-sign Dan Skipper,
Dan's gonna be the
let
backup
Giovanni
tackle.
Manu play over him.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah,
Do you don't remember
Dan's
this?
a good, like,
Do you remember
jumbo
this?
guy? Like you throw him in at tight end, like he's like a good like
No,
he's a good like bonus offensive lineman.
this is where you lose.
Would you say that
is where you
Dan,
lose
if
me.
Dan
So
Skipper
hold
would
on, no,
not,
I want to go to Boone. So you think Dan Skipper is a very good backup?
Honestly, listen. This is where I. This
Now
is where
we're
I.
changing it. No,
No, I'm not changing. You're not letting me talk. Are you going to
Finish.
stop? This is where I land on Dan Skipper. When his number was called this last year, Taylor Decker went down for a game and he was out for a few weeks. Who stepped in? And to your point, you said Graham Glasgow moved over to left tackle. So I appreciate you saying that. To my point is Dan Skipper played the whole game. Dan Skipper played every snap at left tackle, and I'm pretty sure he was the number 1 rated PFF offensive lineman in that game, and he dominated. And then I don't know if you remember this. I'm just going to throw this up. After that game, when he dominated at left tackle.
Offense, that's the
He
way to
did
step
not
up, man. That's the way to
dominate.
step
Hold on,
up.
look wait. I want you to see something. When
we've
Dan
seen
Skipper
the
was at
clip.
left tackle, and dominated in that game, look over Dan Campbell's right shoulder right now, Jeff.
Offense, that's the
Who
way
is
to
that?
step
Whoa,
up, man. That's the
What's
way to
that?
step up.
And then
There
wait
you go,
for it.
Skip. Keep throwing up. Whatever you're doing out there.
And that's what Dan Skipper was doing. That's what Dan Skipper was doing while Giovanni Manu was
You're
in
talking.
street clothes.
You're talking about the 124th rated tackle and run blocking. Okay.
Okay,
but
but
yeah,
I'm talking about a game. He
No,
stepped
no,
in for
yeah.
a game. He stepped in for a game and was very good for them. Very good as a
very
backup.
good.
You're not asking him to be top
Or-
10.
So,
You're not. No, you're not.
very good.
All right.
Dan
Our
Skipper.
point is Dan Skipper over
What is your
Giovanni Manu right now. Yes. You have seen nothing to prove it out of
I
Gio.
don't- you're
If
I
you
You
love
haven't
Dan
seen
Skipper.
nothing.
You're like
Nothing for
dodging.
Giovanni Manu.
I love it.
Not dodging anything.
I got him on
We
his
have
back
seen it-
foot.
We have seen
if
it out of
Dan
Dan.
Skipper is the 124th ranked tackle, I am petrified to see what Giovanni Manu would be.
He
would be-
no.
He would be in the
Dan
180s.
Skipper was one of the worst run blocking tackles graded. So he's good as like a bonus guy. Like I like Dan. Or Dan Skipper. He's solid. But Boone's acting like this dude's like 6th man of the year. Like he's
He
a
stepped
gem.
in-
He hidden
Right,
gem.
like, on the game.
He hasn't even stepped on
Yeah.
the field.
That's not, guys. I'm just addressing the Dan Skipper point. You're gassing up Dan Skipper. Like
we're
this dude's
gassing
the
up Dan
next great-
Skipper because we're comparing him to Giovanni Manu.
But you're
there's
using
levels here, and these
information
levels
from
might
this
not be
past
high up
season
on the
when
totem
Giovanni
pole.
Manu was a red shirt. He never played. There's no argument. He would have never played. So you
Oh my
can't use
gosh.
this season. He was redshirting. There was no argument.
If Dan
But-
Skipper was that bad at run blocking as he was, don't you think they would have took a peek?
He's
Up.
fucking dude. The guy was from British Columbia, Klotzy. He was never playing this year.
So how's he gonna learn?
Because he learns with Hank in practice. He develops.
But how do you,
Develop.
Jeff,
not gonna
how do you
throw a
actually
rookie.
develop?
You're not going to throw a rookie from British Columbia out to the Wolves. Dan's at least played. He has experience. He's not all talented.
He was never ready this year, man.
So when
Exactly.
is
He was never
thrown to the
ready.
Wolves?
That doesn't show you that he's going to be ready guaranteed next year to be the backup. Like
But
you have
guys,
not heard.
How
They
do
haven't
you
said.
guys not understand like a developmental year, especially you, Booner. You've developed.
I understand what you're saying, but like some of
Do
these
you?
guys.
Do you?
Jeff's crashing out.
Go
This is
ahead.
not
No,
good.
go.
Some of these guys, like you hear things about, like they were having press conferences and saying stuff about guys like Broderick Martin. Like you hear it coming out of the camp.
You
like,
said to Klotzy 10 minutes ago they heard about Giovanni Manu. You brought it up.
A little bit. I want to hear more. And the man's crash. He's done. He's done.
I mean, like, this guy's clearly just dumb. I mean, is he trolling me? Like, what is this? I mean,
I'm
this
trying to
guy's
figure
talking out of his ass.
Jeff
He's
is
not
having
going
an affair
Klotzy.
with
They
Giovanni
did
Manu.
compliment
Yeah, this
Giovanni
is
Manu
something.
this
This
year.
is something.
This,
else.
And
this
then-
is, we have uncovered the
This guy,
unbreakable
I just-
vault
because
in
it's
Jeff's
like-
football brain.
it's simple logic. If you say something else 10 minutes later, I'm baffled.
You're stuck on what I'm saying. This is a you and Klotz thing.
It's coming out of your mouth. You said it.
Why are you
there.
why are you stuck on me right now? Dude, let's not do
Because
this.
you picked the fight. You are started going
I
at
just want to see more out of him. I said that I think there's still a chance he can be that, but I haven't seen it. There's no reason for me to believe it. The argument earlier was
Why are we arguing?
the argument. That's what I'm wondering. What you're so.
Oh, now you're backtracking. You
I would be
started.
able to.
I'm not back.
You
Klotz, have
literally
I been
started
kind of
it.
in the middle on this whole thing? The only part that I started to turn on you was you said guaranteed I would take Giovanni Manu over Dan Skipper.
You're coming at
Klotz,
you.
that's
because you-
true. He's
No.
he's
This is. I
crashing
know
out
you,
right
Booner,
now.
and I'm reading
This
it
is
like
not
a
good
book.
for
You
him.
do this often.
No, you
twist
don't.
little
You're
words.
you're
You
emotional
twist
right
these
now.
little
Boone,
words
Boone.
and arguments. I didn't say that. What I said was, you believe Dan Skipper is a very good tackle, and you said, well,
No,
he
I did not
dominated in
say
his
that.
first start. You said
I
he
did
was
not say
very
he was
good
a
and
very
dominated.
good, like he's one of the best in the
You
league.
said, quote, again, your words,
Oh, this
very
guy's
good,
getting-
and he dominated in
This
his
is
first
supposed.
start.
I'm not doing this. I'm out on this argument.
I'm using
This
your
is not supposed to be
words.
my. This is you and Klotz, and you're starting to turn it on me.
Because you're
listen.
I know exactly.
You're
what,
trying to pick. You're trying to nitpick, and when I do that to you, you start to freak out. Like last week, we had an
I'm
argument,
using- no,
and I
no,
nitpicked
use
one
my
of your
words.
words, and you off
Please.
air, you said, "Booner, you can't do that,"
you,
and I said,
Michael.
"Okay."
No.
Now-
Please, if I say something, call me out on
You
it.
say this now, but when I do it, you go no. So this is
I've
what I'm
never
gonna say.
said that.
Dan
If I
Skipper
say
isn't
something,
a starting
call it out.
left tackle or right tackle in the league that you're trying to say that I said. I never said that. You're trying to act like I'm
You said
insinuating.
very
No,
good.
stop. I'll let you talk. It's my turn again. I insinuated. You're trying to say that I insinuated that he's a starting tackle. No,
Nope, I didn't
when
say
he stepped in, that one of the games that he stepped in, he was very good in that one game. Now he played in a lot of different games that might have been bad in those games, but he stepped in one specific game, which I'll go figure out. And Dan Campbell complimented him. He was one of the higher graded PFF linemen. You need to start listening a little bit better. I'm going to buy you some
Dude,
Q-tips for your
stop
birthday.
that. You said it.
I didn't say
your
it.
words.
Klotz,
never-
you have to like help me
Booner,
out here.
let's
He's
let's
He's
kumbaya.
emotional. He's trying too much. He's freaking out. We need something here because I never
he
wanted to
didn't like
argue.
that.
Oh
with
no,
you.
no, no! You can't bring up emotional, and I'll explain.
He's-
I'll explain this, Booner. I never said you said he's a very good starter. I never said that.
Oh my
you
gosh, we're
said he
getting
was,
into the nitty gritty, and this is annoying. I hate these
you
arguments.
gotta watch
dude.
what you say.
No, just shut up, dude. That's annoying, dude. I'm
If
not doing
if
that.
me and Klotzy are arguing about Giovanni Manu versus Dan Skipper, and you come in and try and dunk on Dan Skipper, be like, oh, don't you like you're defending Dan Skipper? Well, I'm coming at you then because you're
Dude,
defending.
you
Dan
gotta.
Skipper.
Okay, I'm done. Go ahead. Move on.
You don't pick a fight
I-
if you don't want it.
I didn't
mean,
pick any fight. Jeff, you're trying to make something that isn't. You really are, dude. You're gonna watch this back and be like, I shouldn't have. Like,
No,
I literally just
no,
said
no.
Dan Skipper stepped in and he was good, and you can deal with
Very
him
good.
next year.
he dominated.
Okay,
That is
now
what you
you're-
said.
Okay, buddy. Whatever makes
Hey,
you sleep.
I will say, do I think Giovanni Manu is going to be a star? I don't know that. But what I do like is his potential. I do like his potential. I do. So if you don't agree with
All
that,
right, buddy. Hey, I don't know what your
That
original.
island.
You don't even know what your own original point was, dude. Like this, you just took this
That
in
was my
16
point.
different million ways. What? That he's developing still? Like I don't know what you're. I don't honestly. You've taken this 100
are
different ways.
confused.
You and Klotz were going at it about something. Now you're trying to say something about it. You're like grabbing branches, trying to claim at any win you can take here with this. Like,
No,
I have no
no.
clue what you're trying to argue right now.
No.
I legit don't. And Coach Walk say, "Are you dumb?" Listen, this is Jeff. This is a Jeff.
No,
Fresh
don't
show,
flip
not
it
a
on
Booner
me.
one.
What I'm saying is Giovanni Manu. I'm not calling this man. I'm not writing him off. You and Klotz can. I'm not writing Giovanni Manu off. I like his upside. British Columbia. He wasn't polished. He was never going to play this year. And people say, "Oh, he didn't play this year." Yeah, no, duh. Because he was redshirting.
I think this is what happened. Listen, this is what happened. You're struggling to like accept reality, which is fine. Like, hey,
what's reality?
That he probably isn't going to work out.
So okay, so you're on that. So
you have to give him another year, but as of year one, you've heard one or two good things that he's starting to take steps forward. But a guy, you have other rookies that are stepping in at guard that are already playing. You have Taylor Decker go down for the longest, and guess who didn't play? Who did he take a snap, or was he in street clothes in that video I showed you?
Are you talking about his red shirt?
No.
Red shirt year? Yeah, he didn't play.
Red shirt year. You don't.
Last year he did not play,
buddy. You don't red shirt in the NFL, man.
Oh,
that's not
Broderick Martin. That was your biggest argument when he was a rookie.
Yes,
but
my point is still though. But Broderick did.
He was wrong on Broderick.
The thing I was wrong, and the thing is Broderick played in his rookie year and looked bad. They threw him in with the Wolves, looked bad, and I did. Klotz, what did I say to you? I said, yeah, it didn't look good, but give him the other year to develop. I get your point, Jeff. I hear what you're saying, bud. But you still have to I'm telling you from experience with Broderick and Colby Sorsdale. Yes, you have to wait this next year, but it's not a guarantee as you're saying it to where he's over Dan Skipper.
You keep adding words. Guarantee. I never said guarantee. I like his upside.
I never said he was great all year either with Dan. So if we want to pick and choose words,
I said
instead of the main point. Instead of the main point of your argument, you're losing track of your main point.
I'll say it the 15th time. I like his upside. I'll say it again for you. I like his upside.
All right. That's all you needed. This could have been done 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, right? But
yeah, you had a crash out.
That is literally the point here. Okay. And you jumped in. I wanted to go at Klotzy over it, but we can go.
I didn't really jump in.
I'll defend him. All right.
I didn't really jump in.
Hey, the water's warm, like the doc says. All right. And Giovanni rocking with him. So there you go.
That was a rush.
Yeah, hopefully Dan Skipper. I don't hate the man's guts. I just don't. I think he's fine. He's just the fans love him. I get it, but that's where I'm at with Dan Skipper. I will see if they bring him back. Maybe he goes to the Bears. Maybe Ben Johnson wants some Dan Skipper. I don't know.
He's home in Detroit. Don't you worry. That Razorback ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, is he a Razorback?
He is.
I did not know
SEC, not British Columbia, baby. It's all I know. American made.
They breed them different. That's what I was hearing. That's what I heard.
US of A, baby.
All right, drop your questions. All right, we got about 7 minutes left. Done arguing about backup offensive linemen.
That was insane. That
unbelievable, dude.
That was insane. I'm just happy I could get my point across clearly.
No, we still have a bet on the line. I think he'll play this year at some point.
I mean, we got to figure out like an over/under on snaps or something, because then Jeff's gonna try his little thing. Well, he played 2 snaps. So that doesn't count.
See how he's jumping into our bet? Our bet is he plays.
I just won't. Hey, that's unbelievable.
But that's you're like, are you on his side? Are you? It's all that we agreed. We shook hands, Boone. He plays. There's no over/under. You already shook hands. You can't change it now.
You think I'm gonna sweat this bet over G? I am sleeping well knowing that probably in how many calendar months do you think we'll be looking at?
I don't know how many months can he be great. What does he got? About
I mean, he had 12 this year. He had 12 this year. It's all I
have another 5. So that's fine.
Hope he works out. Hope he does. I just don't think he will.
Sorry. All right, yeah. I mean, I see Tyler. I mean, Tyler's from British Columbia. He said my bro lived close to the BC Lions practice field, so he got to see an up close visual of this guy. So, Ball Don't Lie mailbag. What do you guys use to watch college player films?
There's this YouTube page. One is Under the Radar Prospects, and then 2 is 2 Minute Sports or 2 minute. It's 2 minute something.
I've never seen
both of them just fucking great. I'll have to drop them because both the 2 minute one only has like 7,000 subs, bro, and he's one of the best.
You know that dude that does NFL stuff, Jackson Kruger?
I'd have to see. I might be familiar.
Kruger.
If not,
I think I worked with the Jackson Kruger one time.
Yeah, he might do film on the side because that dude's breakdown actually impressive.
I did work with the Jackson Kruger.
Yeah,
he's from Michigan.
Anakin says mailbag. Grossi's doing a charity stream. Why don't you guys go and support him? He's raising $1 million for charity. I was watching earlier.
Yeah,
he's
when I woke up this morning, I saw he was like sleeping. I tuned in, and he was
he was literally sleeping. So that's commitment. It's $1 million or 1 million subs.
Come on now.
I wonder how long he'll be live for. I don't know where he's at right
I think
now.
he's like I don't think
that might be like $1 million. That'd be. I feel like that'd be like a day or two.
No, for sure. I think I was in
it
this
might
morning.
Be longer than a day or two.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I was in a couple hours ago, and I think he hit like 250. So he was already a quarter of the way through, and I think he's been live for like a day, maybe.
It's gonna be a couple days, maybe.
Yeah. So like 250 in one day. I mean, that's 4 days right there.
I give him credit, man. I don't know if I had $1 million, and maybe I'm just a shitbag. At least where I'm at, it would be so hard for me just to give $1 million away. Like, oh my, that would be like, oh.
To be fair though, I'm sure Tom's already like.
He doesn't really need them, but yeah, he's doing. He's doing. But she's doing again. It's I believe, man. You do good things. You do good causes.
He does.
It'll come back.
A good job.
Like he does a lot for charities and hospital, like the children's hospital thing he did, where he went around the country and went to different stadiums. Like it all comes back to you. You know, that's what I believe. I tipped my to-go order today, and it was completely wrong. But I just said, you know what? Did something nice.
Like 100? Did you add an extra 0 or something?
No, I didn't do that. But I tipped, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tip. It was like it's a go spot. Tipped a pretty good tip, and then it was all wrong. So but you know what? It's not about that. You just gotta do a little something good. You know what I mean?
You want to hear about my night last night, boys?
Back around.
I didn't tell you. I was so mad. So couple months ago for Christmas, I got like a $50 Chili's card. Okay, I fucking love Chili's.
Chili's, great spot too, by the way.
It was some online card that I was like, this is weird. You had to like register it online. Go to Chili's, doesn't work. The card just doesn't work. It was a scam card, didn't work. And I was like, oh, I got $50, so like let me get a couple of drinks, get an app, get a triple dipper, get some boys. I had like a $90 Chili's tab. That I was like, it's $40. That's pretty much a Chili's dinner. And it didn't work. $90 at Chili's. How disgusting is that?
I mean, that's kind of impressive. Just was it you and
me and my girl? Yeah.
So it was two for $90 at Chili's. That's impressive though.
She wasn't feeling good, so she really didn't get that much.
So you just it was just you for $90.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jeez, Klotz, that's a big Chili's.
Filled up the gas tank on the way home too. I had to get gas right after. It was bad.
Man,
it was like
funny.
Quick $1.40 on some Chili's and
gas. Xavier D says you took your girl on a gift card date. You deserve it.
I took her Valentine's Day. I took her to a very nice, fine.
That's just a normal dinner.
Chili's was for me. It was for me.
You know what? Now, I'll say this. I don't. If you got a gift card somewhere and you're like, I'm gonna take my girl here. That's high IQ right there. And why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing? You know what? You got like a, whatever gift card. I don't know, Chili's, for example. Like, why not? It's on the gift card. That's
let me take her to fucking Final Cut.
A gift card date does sound funny the way Xavier D put it.
On a Sunday night.
A what? What'd you say, Klotz?
Like, let me go to like Final Cut and drop $200 on a steak meal on a Sunday night right after Valentine's Day. That sounds nice. When I paid for a steak dinner 2 nights before.
Where'd you go for the steak dinner?
I'm sorry.
Where was the steak dinner at for Valentine's?
It was at great. I'm gonna have to take you boys there one time. It's called Hannon's Block. It's in Toledo. They have like steak and they have like Parmesan fries, and it's like okay, but it's a nice restaurant. But oh my god, you put garlic aioli on top of it. Oh. boys, I was
So-
happy. They have
sounds
homemade ice
unbelievable.
cream after. Oh,
Ooh,
I was a happy man.
I was a
Hey,
happy man.
Had some wine. You fellas know me. Had some wine with the meal.
Love a good glass of wine too, though.
Buddy, I'll
Wine
eat-
is
You leave the tip. Okay,
That's
that's messed up. All right,
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
yeah. Giver says hi, IQ low bank account. I get it. Not gonna argue that. Well, no, actually, if you're using gift cards, you're saving some money. All right, so what's wrong with that? Don't hate on a gift card, man. Hey, I don't mind gift cards if I don't need anything for. If people ask
that Bulls turn comment's
Give me a
really
gift card.
funny, dude.
give me a gift card. All right, I think besides like bills, most of my money, I'm probably gonna stop eating out. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I
That's
don't get like
most of it.
fast food that much, but like when I get like I'll go like work out, go to the gym. I'm just fucking hungry and I don't want fast food.
Oh,
Shout out
Coach
Locke.
Lodge just dropped a quick 50 to take your grill to Chili's, Lucas.
Shout out the goat.
Hey, the next day,
Yeah.
next day, it's like Jazz is like you're like this is on Coach Walk.
This is on
This is on
Coach
Coach
Walk.
Walk.
Yeah, coach. Here you go.
Buy
Get
yourself
whatever you
something
want, bro.
nice.
Dude.
He
Shout out.
slipped me a 50.
Yeah, shout out, coach. Man, that's big.
Shout
time.
out, coach. That's hilarious.
I've actually, fun fact, I've been to Chili's one time.
Oh my god. Do you like
That's great.
Applebee's?
Yeah.
Never been to Chili's. I've been at one time in Florida. Never went anywhere.
Chili's
It's
is
Sa-
like
at Saginaw
Chili's
they
make
had one.
Applebee's taste like water.
Yeah, no, I agree. Dude,
Really?
they have,
It's noted?
dude, they're so good.
All right.
Everything they have there is. I don't think I've had something bad at Chili's before, to be
No.
honest.
Like even
I'm gonna
like,
get everything on the menu on Coach Walk. I'm just
good
kidding.
burgers, like Philly said, good fajitas, the triple dipper.
I've never had
name
the
a
triple
more
dipper.
iconic,
Actually,
like,
never
deal,
had
right?
it.
Triple dipper, you get 3 appetizers for one meal. You can get 2 sliders, then you can get like chicken chunks and mozzarella sticks. It's like
Those mozzarella sticks are the viral ones too. That looks
yeah, like the big
unbelievable.
ass mozzarella sticks, and you get a whole order of like chicken chunks, and you get sliders.
They got pretzels?
Chicken
Oh.
chunks. I don't know how I feel about that. That sounds.
They,
good. I
they,
don't know
they
what
have
a
good chicken chunks.
is.
You can mix
Like,
it up.
what's
There's,
a
like,
chicken chunk?
You have
Is
like
that like
9,
a?
you have like 9 assortments of apps that you can pick 3 of them and you put them into one meal.
Wow.
I'm just trying to
It's-
figure out what a
it's
chicken
crack.
chunk is. Class.
Oh my! But what would you order at Buffalo Wild Wings?
Okay, so they're like wings. Okay, that's all. The chunk really throws it off. I don't know.
Yeah,
are we talking
I
like?
don't
Are we
like
talking
that.
I'm
about
not gonna
wings?
call it a
Are we
chicken
talking about?
wing.
Are we talking about wings,
Chicken chunk.
tenders,
No,
nuggets?
it's a chicken chunk. There's no bone involved. It's not a tender.
Chicken chunks. That's not in a major food group.
Yeah, I've never heard of a chicken chunk.
You can get chicken tenders there too. They're called chicken crispers. You can
No,
then
that's
get the
not-
chicken chunk.
chicken.
They're called the
chunk?
boneless bites. Does that help?
Yeah, 100%.
That
Yes.
just sounds extremely feminine.
I've never heard someone. Is it?
Chicken
Did you just
chunks.
make that up
I
yourself?
grew up-
No,
I grew
not
up with
chicken chunks.
chunks.
The boneless bites or what was
Yeah,
it?
Caleb Williams would probably order that. Caleb and Ben went to Chili's. and they got
Okay,
the
all right.
boneless
You know
bites.
what? We're getting out of here. Yeah, it's just
Probably
what happens.
margarita too.
All right.
Giovanni Manu joined them.
Yeah.
Jeff has his Mount Rushmore, and Giovanni Manu has cemented himself on there.
Yeah.
That was one of the bigger Jeff crash outs I've seen. Over Giovanni Manu playing snaps over Dan.
Hey,
I feel like I was attacked for no reason. I feel like I was like a bystander. and
Oh,
I was
no.
just attacked.
no, we had a good argument. But
Gods.
you can't pull the note. I
We
was
did not have a
attacked.
good argument. I wasn't in this argument. I didn't want to argue.
Go watch it back. You
This
told
was
me.
like a this.
Watch
This
it.
was I was an innocent
Jeff was
bystander.
scared to step to step.
Yeah,
to the real
there's
argument.
this thing. There's
No,
this thing going around where
no,
when Jeff starts to get in an
no.
argument with Lucas,
No.
I hope
not
people in the chat start to
That's
notice it. He
victim.
just
You
defers
call
to me.
Lucas victim,
No,
that's victim.
I think you're scared of
Ended
the
it
ball
again.
knower. I think you're
No,
scared of the
that's
ball
victim.
knower. Klotz.
Hey,
He's scared of you.
No, I ain't scared of
He's scared of
Klotz.
you.
That guy can't hurt a fly.
He does not want to go head to head with you. I don't like how he thinks of me like that, but he's got noted though.
Klotzy, next time he calls you victim, just bring up this conversation May or February 17th.
Oh, that's all right, Jeff.
Don't bring up the past.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I stick to the present and the future.
All right.
Past, I'm
Hey,
too
we'll get
far
out of
to
here. I appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you tomorrow. We'll do fan mock drafts. So send your mocks into our Twitter, Instagram, and we will pull them up. So until then, appreciate you all.
Kuiper Jr. out.
Mel Kiper.
Love you guys.
See ya.
Here's the guy.